Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spawncast, episode 167. Our guest tonight is Jeff Grubb. You may have seen him online. I see you being talked about quite a bit on Twitter, pretty much constantly.
It's weird. I don't know how it happened. It's like they canceled E3 and they're like, Jeff Grubb is going to take that place. So I'm like,
hey,
okay.
You made that list, so you basically were like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it.
That's the key, kids out there. Just make lists. That's all you got to do. Yeah, it's working.
It gets passed around quite a bit, so it at least is helping, because at this time with no E3 or anything, it's kind of hard to keep track of everything going on and stuff's moving around. So it has helped, I will say that. So thank you for joining us tonight. We have Jeff's Twitter down below in the description if you want to go follow him there to keep up to date on all of that stuff. But I figured you want to come on and talk about the PlayStation 5 event with us, because there is a lot to go over with that. So thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And then we have Sean's back.
Yo,
Sean, what's up? You got that shirt in the mail, dude?
Yeah, the Freddie Mercury shirt that I didn't order, and it was addressed to me at my address, so I don't know where it came from.
It's nice when things just show up with your name and your address on it, right? That's great. It's not.
I mean, it's a nice fit. It's a nice fit shirt.
And they know your shirt size.
Yeah, it's a large. So I mean, if it's good, it's a nice cut on it, good quality material. I mean, I'll fuck with it.
Okay. Okay. All right then. MVG, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Enjoyed the live stream for the PS5.
Yeah. It was.
You and Nate live streamed together.
Yep. We tag teamed it. It was a fun live stream, and then we did a Nate the Hate afterwards. And if you check that out on Nate's channel, if you guys haven't heard it yet, it was really good. Good review of the show. So I'm sure we'll get into that more later on.
Cool. Very good. Very good. And then Miss Click, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
We still have the camera angle where we're looking between your monitors at you.
I kind of realized it. Yeah, I can take control of the weird stalker.
I still think it works. I still think the stalker cam works.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I think it works out. Cool. How was the week for you?
Good, actually. I just had some Korean barbecue today, so finally nice to kind of get back out and leave the house for once.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Then we got Evan over here.
Hey.
What's going on, Evan? Got the blue background tonight, I see. Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Very good. And then we got Jordan with the red background. Oh, wait, hold on. It's yellow now.
It's Jeff's.
Wait. Okay, now it's pulses. Jordan, what's going on? How's the week treating you?
Not too great, but we're here at Saturday, so that's good, right?
Okay. We'll go with that. And then we have OJ. What's going on, man?
It's going good. Playing a lot of different types of games this week, which is interesting.
Awesome. Cool. We can go over some of that. And then we got Nate, which how's it going, Nate? I can't even half the time I can't even tell if you're there or not because we can't see you. But how's it going?
I'm always here.
You're always here. Okay.
Always got a presence. You can sense me even if you can't see me. And as MVG said, we have a nice review of the PlayStation 5 event up on the Nate the Hate show, and the channel started a new initiative this week, which is people can donate to the channel on Streamlabs, because I had some DMs of people asking how can they support the channel in a way beyond just views and subs. So I started a Streamlabs where if you give a donation, you can ask a question and we'll answer the question at the end of each new episode. And if a person's feeling super generous and they donate over $100, we will dedicate that episode to you. So
really?
Dedication.
I saw that. So if I donate $100 to you, we'll dedicate an episode on how good my beard is. Is that I want that shit? That's what I want.
That's what you put in your message saying, I would like this episode dedicated to my beard. That's what I'll do.
Are you serious about this?
Yeah,
because you know I'm gonna do something stupid like that, right?
Right.
That sounds like some.
I'll start the new episode. Say this episode is dedicated to OJ's beard.
Huh. All right.
No.
I've got all sorts of stuff I can do.
No.
Are you guys live streaming the Nate the Hate stuff now?
We are not.
No, I thought that's what you were gonna attempt to do.
And how long are these episodes dedicated? What would be the length of these episodes? Huh?
Yeah, dedicated for that episode for whenever it's given. So if you give it on Monday and we record on Tuesday, you will be dedicated to that Tuesday episode.
40 minutes?
That's about an hour.
This actually sounds pretty lit. Okay.
Oh man. Okay, that'll work. Well, Nate, how about you tell us what you played this week then? Since you're out here talking about Nate the Hate, why don't you hit us what you were playing?
I played Summer in Mara on the Switch. And
when's that? Wait, is that out now, or when is that out?
no, it comes out this coming week, but
Okay.
for some reason the developer sent out review code and they didn't give an embargo, so everyone was posting stuff ahead of the embargo the publisher gave us. So I was kind of like, okay, well, that sucks, because I was planning on dropping coverage on the 16th, and now I have to rush coverage out tomorrow. But at least I can talk about it. And I mean, it's like a Harvest Moon Animal Crossing type of game. It's very lighthearted. You take care of an island, you know, that type of stuff. It's kind of neat. A little more interactive than an Animal Crossing, because you make food, you build items, you have to tend to the land to grow crops, and it's actually pretty neat.
Okay. Very good. Did you play anything else? You always have these weird like indie games.
I'm playing.
You're the one who brought Ski Sniper to the conversation, so I don't know if you can top that.
Unfortunately, people bought that.
Yeah, I saw it jump all the way to the top of the eShop.
It was up there for about 4 seconds, so you were one of few who saw it.
Did you play anything else, Nate?
I've been playing Wolfenstein 2 for some reason.
Why? Oh, okay. All right. What, on the Switch or on the Xbox or what?
On the PlayStation 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. You plugged that in. All right.
It's plugged in. Just
I never hear you talk about the PS4.
No,
I always hear you talk about playing on your VCR or on your Switch.
Last PS4 game was Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that was about last time I remember you talking about playing it.
Yeah, so it's
interesting.
Been a while.
Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, I don't know why. I put the system on. I saw the icon. I was like, I'll play this. And then I was in the street shooting Nazis. I was like, that's cool.
That's why you play that game. So yeah.
That's what you do. I mean, it's a fun game. I don't know, it's good, but it's been a bit since it came out.
It's not as good as New Colossus, but it's whatever the first one was called.
Got it. Okay, Sean, what'd you play? Hit us with it.
I played a bunch of shit this week. I played BioShock Infinite, which I've been streaming over on Twitch a little bit. Because I don't know why I stream on Twitch, but we're streaming on Twitch sometimes. It's just low key shit. Really like that game.
Keep streaming on there and just keep streaming on there.
All right, I will. Yes, sir.
I like your streams, by the way. I'm lurking there, so I'm just
yeah, they're fun, just hanging out, because I'm just like, well, I could sit here on my couch and play a video game, or I can play and talk to some people, so might as well.
Can't play Connect 4 worth shit.
I mean, I beat you. We're even. But I won the second match, so that's all that mattered. But yeah, BioShock Infinite's really dope. I'd never played it before. The gunplay is great. Like, it's so much better.
I liked Infinite a lot.
Yeah, and I really like the setting. Like, I don't like heights. Which I'm not big on heights, and so like those first few cities that you're in, where like you're floating in the sky, and they're like going like this and shit. I'm like, holy shit! And then robot George Washington is trying to kill you the whole time. It's great. As far as other stuff goes, though, I've been playing a lot of Xbox stuff. Actually, played 3 Xbox games. I finished Alan Wake for the first time ever. That was my first playthrough of the game. I really liked it, but the last 2 chapters had way too much platforming for my liking, and the platforming is not that good in the game. And the story kind of just like jumped off a cliff at the ending, and I was like, excuse me, and like I had to like look up like shit, like theories on it, and there's like no conclusive answer. It's just a bunch of theories about what people think it means.
Why everyone wants a sequel?
Yeah, I was like, what? But I mean, I did enjoy the game. I've been playing Rise, Son of Rome for the first time on the Xbox One.
What made you do Rise?
I've had it forever and I never played it, and I know that it's a short game, so I was like, well, I could just knock it out pretty quickly. I think I'm 65% complete with the game. It's crazy that was one of the few single player action games that was first party for the system. I mean, really had that, Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive. But I think it's enjoyable. Some people seem to not like the combat. I think the combat's fine. I think it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's a little bit repetitive, but like you can switch up what you're trying to boost up, like your XP or your damage or your health or your focus.
That was definitely a visual showcase at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, it still looks really good, and it's like, why aren't there more games like this?
You're still playing on that S too. You need to be playing on the X. You got to upgrade to that extra.
Okay, no, maybe. And then I played Sessions.
Yes. All right, here we go. You played Sessions.
It's not. Okay. It's not Skate, man. It's not.
It's definitely not Skate. All right, and Skate. But you got to remember, Skate is old. Skate's 10 years old now. Skate 3,
and it's nowhere near as like I can't count how many times like my player would just like clip something like it's just a little bit and go flying, and the board would just sink into the ground. And it
is a beta build, the one they have out right now.
Yeah, it's very beta.
It's coming out. It's coming out this week though. Like apparently the full build is coming out this week, and I have questions about that if it's actually gonna be ready.
It's not good. Like even the controls are overly complicated, but even sort of adjusting to the controls, like after playing it for a little while, like because I have a skateboarding mind, like I understand like, you know, where your feet need to be for certain tricks and shit like that. But just like trying to pull off like 180s and stuff is so cumbersome, and it's not realistic. In order to pull off any sort of like frontside flip or backside flip or front heel, back heel, whatever, like you have to hold down the trigger when you're sort of in position in order to shift your body weight, which I mean, some people do 180 tricks like that, but you don't necessarily have. If you're going for a 360 or beyond, then yeah, you'll want to do something like that. But in real skateboarding, you don't necessarily have to do that. Like probably today I could go ride my skateboard and bust out, you know, a simple 180 without having to do all this momentum based shifting. So I don't know. You'll like
Skate. I think you'll like Skater XL more.
I think so too.
It's slightly more arcadey, and for example, for like Skater or for Sessions, you have to do a lot of reset to neutral for the sticks to do anything. So like if you do a trick like a kickflip, you have to then let both sticks go back to center, dead neutral, and then you can move them to like then grind on like a rail or something. It's kind of strange. Skater XL, I think, does a better way with things like rotation as well. Like just 360s, like I can pull those off. You should see some of the wild stuff I do in Skater XL. It's really funny looking. But that's not coming out till the end of this month or end of next month, and then July. Who knows about the Switch version? But it's on PC now, so you can get it on Steam.
I can't play it on a computer, man.
You just plug the Xbox controller in and you're going. What are you talking about?
I mean, I guess I could.
It's like $20.
20. Oh, here we go. $20. There's always a bait and switch going on with this.
But if you get better at it now, that means that your preview for the Switch version or your video for the Switch version, you'll already be good at it.
Yeah,
like there won't be any. There is a learning curve to Skater XL, dude. I'm telling you.
Is it as bad as Sessions?
No, it's not as bad as Sessions.
Then I'll be fine because I figured out how to play Sessions in like 15 minutes. I just don't like the way it plays.
Yeah,
like
it's the same idea though.
What, like the 2 feet each stick is a foot? That's fine. That's fine. I can get used to that. It's just it's something feels off. Something doesn't feel right with that game.
I'm gonna be curious if their full build that they release this week coming up, it'll be better. But the other weird thing is the Xbox version is like in slow motion compared to the PC version that I play. I went and downloaded the trial for the Xbox. It does not feel right at all. Like there's something wrong with it. So we'll see what happens there with that one. OJ.
Yeah, I got some pretty interesting games. There's a game called AI the Somnum Files. That came out for the PS4, PC, and Switch last year. It was actually one of the best rated games of last year and kind of just flew under the radar. It's kind of like, like the Zero Escape, 9 doors, 9 persons. It's like one of those, it's like a visual novel, but not like detective mystery type of deal. So I picked up that game. My boy VC, he really wanted me to play it. So we did that stream today, and it's really interesting. Like you search the scene for clues, but you have this like artificial intelligence eye that's like the thing's in your eye, and it can pop out of your eye and like walk around, but it's also like your consciousness as well, and you solve different puzzles and clues as you're trying to get through this like murder of a young lady at like a broken down like amusement park. It's just a crazy game. A lot of detail. The writing's hilarious, great writing, and I don't usually play games like this, so it's something kind of like out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it. It's 50% off on the eShop right now. I've been playing it. It's really good. I think it's really good, and you're gonna get like a laugh out of it just playing through. So play that for about an hour, and I'm definitely gonna play more of it. Thought it was pretty good. It's PS4, Switch, PC, and then I also got to play a bit of Persona 4 Golden today.
Oh man, I wouldn't, because I downloaded it. I didn't get a chance to play it yet. I literally started it up just to check out the options, see what they have there. But you played a little bit of it, right?
Yeah, I got to play a little bit of it, and we're gonna have a whole topic on this, right?
Well, we can have a whole topic because I wanted to also go into some of the other parts of the Atlas and Sega and stuff too.
Yeah, so I guess we can wait for that.
Yeah, we can on that. Yep.
Yeah, but I did get I got a video coming up. I got a huge retro haul since RGT forgets to play retro games on his channel. I got a huge retro haul that I got. You know, guys talk about skateboarding is I got Tony Hawk, you know, and I got a ton of Dreamcast games. I got a bunch of Xbox original, PS2, and all sorts of stuff. So I'm really excited to kind of hook that up and play. And I'm just joking around with RGT. He's on me. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing playing those and everything like that. But yeah, Persona. We'll talk about that in a bit. AI played Mario Kart, played Smash like I always play every single week. Always a lot of fun, especially Smash. Smash is like kind of gearing up for potential ARMS character.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be happening soon, right?
And that should be happening this month. Should be happening. I'm getting some birds. Little birds are telling me. Some coming sometime soon. Should be fun. I just don't know how the presentation is gonna go. Like I just don't know if it's gonna be Sakurai talking from his house,
just hanging out in his house, like just
underwear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to be like what they did with the Joker presentation, which was just they already cut it together. He wasn't on camera at all, so I'm not really sure. But there should be something along the lines of that. So just getting some Smash in this week felt good. The game is always super fun to play. So we'll talk about Persona. I guess in just a bit here.
What about Miss Click?
Dude. Freaking Xenoblade, man.
Oh, sorry. Yes, and I've been playing Xenoblade.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, what happened to Xenoblade? You finished it?
I've got 60 hours into that game, and it literally dedicates. It's like my life. Whenever I'm done with work, I play because I haven't been streaming it. I've just been playing it and making posts because I already did kind of like a review. But yeah, I've been playing. Sorry to cut you off, Click, but I've been playing Xeno like absolute crazy. 60 hours in, and it's 60 hours in, and I feel like it's 10 hours. Like that's how much I love the game. Like it's just all the additions. It's phenomenal. Guys, go get it.
Hashtag free game.
Hashtag.
Yeah, really. Come on.
Hashtag I bought the game 7 times. Hashtag I also bought the game 7 times. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. It genuinely, I did. Well, I'd been streaming it like every day since it came out. At least like 4 or 5 hours per chapter. And then we'd break that up. But I ended up doing like a 24-hour stream, and we pretty much just streamed that.
Wow.
And
you did a 24-hour stream?
Yeah. Well, it was like 26, but 24 of Xenoblade. Jeez. And I chunked it up into like 3 different sections. But dude, I need to get through this because we also do Future Connected. Because then, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cover the Pokemon stuff. Like when that comes out, like, and sometime in between, and then we have Last of Us, and then it's like everything, and I still have people nagging at me to finally start playing Persona. So I'm like, dude, I gotta get through stuff.
Persona's gonna take a long time.
Yes, and the thing is with Xenoblade is like, I remember watching the story years ago, just watching through it on YouTube. Like all the developers just love the fact that you do that versus buying the game, but I legitimately just forgot how massive this game is and how it takes like 30 hours before it really like sets you up of like, okay, now here's like where the game gets really good, because like it genuinely feels like the first 30 hours you have like this kind of small grasp on the world, and then it kind of just expands open, and then you start going to places that, you didn't think the game was going to take you. And like, dude, I'm like probably almost 70 hours in and still not fully done. And then, like I said, we still have Future Connected, but it's been so much fun. And I do like the fact, I know Max and I mentioned it last week, I do like the fact that the combat reminds me a lot of like World of Warcraft. And I enjoy that. I didn't necessarily think that was going to be kind of the feel I got from it. So it's been really fun. I've enjoyed playing it. I just some parts of me, I'm like, dude, I actually really like a lot of the voice acting in this game. What happened to Xenoblade Chronicles 2? But, that's just me. It's really fun. I am enjoying it. So I can't wait to try the Future Connected stuff, though.
Cool. You don't like Malice's voice actor? He's pretty good.
No, not Malos. It's more of like...
Rex?
Yeah, a couple of them, yeah.
And Nia?
Yeah, and
you like Pyra and Mithra?
Pyra's good, Mithra's good. I do like Mithra because she's just like sassy. I love that. But other than that, it's just like we'll show them a thing or 3, and it's like, dude, just shut up, dude.
Who's your team? I know but who's your go-to team?
Oh, in Xenoblade. So I've tried everybody, and I've tried playing them. I still enjoy playing Shulk. Like I just feel like, first off, just like the Monado is just OP in my opinion with everything it can do.
The Monado.
The Monado.
I know about that.
It's the Xenoblade, right?
The Xenoblade. I do still enjoy though. I think my favorite has been, I love Ryan because he pulls so much aggro, and Dunban. I Shulk Ryan and Dunban. I love them, and I tried. Well, I don't want to like spoil like later on. I tried some new additions like into the party, and I enjoyed them. But dude, like Ryan just has like so much tanking ability, but it's the aggro I really like for him because like he just performs like a tank should. And then freaking Dunban, like, it helps out Ryan, but he's just like, hoo, ha, yeah, like, you can't catch me, like, I'm so agile, and it's cool, and I mean, it's really cute, and, so, whatever.
Yeah, Dunban's really good.
Yeah.
Super good. He never gets hit if you have him, right?
Right.
I always use him because I'm like, y'all ain't gonna hit me anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Let's go over to Jeff. What'd you play this week?
I don't have time for video games. Are you kidding me? No, I've been putting a little bit of time in with Ori. Actually, I've been testing that Razer Kishi controller. Did you guys see this past week? There was a couple of news stories about it. People were reviewing it. It's Razer's new sort of like a Game Vice dock thing for your smartphone. It's more universal than some of the other ones like Game Vice, and it works really well. It's working really well with my Pixel 3a XL, and I just booted up Steam Link and started playing some Ori through that, and it was pretty rough the first day. Like I have a pretty good connection, but for some reason the app was just crashing. I thought it was my connection, but been playing some this morning and it worked a lot more smoothly. It's also how I was going to try to play Persona 4 Golden, but I realized like it's so much different than the Switch, though. You think like, okay, you're holding the game in your hand. It's on a phone. The controllers feel good. The controls feel good. You're like, oh, this is just like a Switch, but it's not, because a Switch you can put it to sleep, and you can forget about the game. You don't have to worry about it at all. But if I put my phone to sleep when I'm playing it on Steam Link, the computer's still running the game in the background. It's like that bothers me because I'm like, that timer's still running, so my time's going to be messed up how long it takes, and that's like kind of petty. But I am thinking about that. But also just like, having a game running on your computer is just a kind of a irresponsible waste of resources, and I'm like, I don't feel good about that either. So it's still like, it doesn't. I'm not mentally over that hump where I'm like, there's a good way to play video games on my phone when I when I can't get to the TV because I'm chasing after 2 kids all the time.
xCloud though. xCloud. I mean, I heard it works really well for that.
Right. Yeah. So xCloud it would be better. I just, you can't play Persona 4 on there. But I think, but that, that's not quite as good as playing on my local connection. Surprisingly, xCloud's good, but my local connection's been really good, and I can control the settings a little bit more. And I got a 2080 Super in there. I'm like, I want to take advantage of that stuff. But you're right. xCloud would work perfectly well with that. And that's how you should be playing that. If you're playing on your phone, get one of these Razer Kishi things. It is really good overall. But other than that, I was going to try Torchlight 3, but the servers were not working. So
I heard there were some server issues there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of getting whacked on Steam reviews for that, and it's like, it's kind of unfortunate, but I get it, but still unfortunate. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. Just don't have much time. Too much happening with like not E3 and actually reporting stuff. So
I did like Ori was good. Ori was good. I played through it on the Xbox, even though it had that weird, I was thinking of MVG where it was like glitching here and there. Because you stopped playing it completely, MVG, because
did they ever fix that?
After I beat it, I didn't really go back and check. I'll be honest.
It was bad on PC for a while. PC had this really weird, I don't know what it is, but like this variable frame rate thing where like it would like catch up with itself, and it looked weird. That's not happening anymore, and it runs great even over the streaming connection. So I can actually look at the game now without it hurting my eyes.
Oh,
nice.
All right, very good. Very good. What about MVG? What'd you play this week, man?
I played the game of the year, Clubhouse Games.
Yes, it is.
Playing this week, honestly. It's been a busy week, obviously, with a lot of things going on. But yeah, Clubhouse Games, man. That's it. That's
good pick up and play game. Good pick up and play game.
It's so good. So good.
What game you playing the most on there? You think? Out of all
I
of them.
like.
We should guess. We should guess. You like President. I bet you like President.
I like pull, even though pull is kind of broken because you can't apply spin on the ball at all. But it's kind of fun. It's very addictive. That, and I like the bowling as well. Even though I can bowl 300 pretty much every other game. It's fun as hell. So
okay, very cool. What about Jordan?
Same old Animal Crossing, the daily check-ins and all that. But I finished up LA Noire again after almost a decade since I had last fully played through it. Some parts hold up, a lot of it doesn't. But it's still kind of fun to see some of the reactions when you're talking to people in that game, just how 0 to 100 it gets. That's really about it. Didn't have too much time this week, just some gaming here and there.
Nice. That's cool, man. That'll work. And then Evan.
GTFO released its new rundown this Thursday, so me and my friends tried to get through it yesterday. After about 4 hours, we couldn't clear a level yet, but we're getting close to some, so that was kind of fun.
Every time we ask you about that, you're like, we're going to clear the level. I think it's going to happen this time.
It's so fun to get your ass kicked by this game and go back in trying more and getting further into the levels. It's great.
Well, do you want to hit us? Do you want to hit us with a? Apparently, do you want to hit us with a Discord question?
What is your most emotional playthrough of a game?
Final Fantasy Crisis Core.
Oh.
Okay, interesting.
Travis Strikes Back because the game fucking stopped working halfway through and I got pissed off and yelled a lot.
I heard you messaged me and you were just, it was just like all caps about it.
dude, Mass Effect 2, I felt like that shit was real.
That's a good one. Mass Effect 2 for me. That suicide run thing at the end.
It felt like, dude, if you didn't do this, your life was over. Like that's what it felt. It felt like if you didn't get this done, you're in trouble. So
the opening of the first Last of Us. Pretty
that's a good point.
That's a good pick.
That was a good one.
Mine's Breath of the Wild, just because it's so good. I get emotional thinking about how good that game is.
I'm refraining from my answer because it's gonna get pooped on.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Splatoon 2.
She's gonna say Death. No, she's gonna say Death Stranding. She's gonna say Death Stranding.
If you saw my reaction to the end of Death Stranding.
Oh, the ending. I can see that.
That's an emotionally charged game.
It was a good ending. It was a good ending.
I was slightly embarrassed and slightly honored that the Kojima team reached out to me and they're like, your reaction is exactly what we were hoping for. At that part, may we use your video? And I'm like, oh my god, they just saw me lose my ever-loving mind. I'm so embarrassed.
Kojima watches it every night. Yeah.
He's like, yes. Tears, mental breakdown, exactly what I want.
We have another Discord question there, Evan.
Do you think the Xbox Lockhart is just going to end up being a streaming stick that uses xCloud similar to how the Stadia has the little plugin?
No, it'll probably just be
maybe.
Okay.
No.
Going the other way.
They do something like that, but that's not what that is.
Sean, it might come pre-installed with the AAA Knights game on there. But
Good. In a perfect world, it would. Right alongside Sega, and Sega's gonna market it in Japan.
Let's go through some of these super chats, and then I'll move over to Streamlabs after we go over some of the PlayStation 5 event here. So let's just start up with the PlayStation reveal event that happened on Thursday, and a little over an hour. I think a lot of people here streamed it. Let me see.
Not me. I knew it was gonna get copyright claim.
It did. It got hit 9 times.
Because Sony likes to use fucking real music, and I'm like, nope, ain't gonna do it.
Listen, I've said this before.
Capcom,
it's
man.
lazy.
Capcom fucked me on my reaction video.
It was Capcom and Rockstar were going after.
I had to re-upload 3 times.
Yeah, Capcom and Bandai Namco are pretty bad.
They're the worst.
They're the
worst.
Bandai Namco might be the worst, and Sega not so much anymore. But man, Bandai Namco and Capcom, they're horrible. And it's like people absolutely love their games. They're like, no, you must not love our games and share your excitement for our trailers. How dare you?
Maybe Capcom was just mad that the trailer that they gave to play was all choppy. So it had this weird stutter effect to it.
People thought that it doesn't matter if it was shot. People thought that Resident Evil 8 was amazing. Like, how much free clout would that have been?
I'm excited for it, but like
it looks okay. But whatever.
Didn't play well.
People were like, "Yo, this is Resident Evil 8." Like, it's literally they're giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars of free marketing, everybody would have made a reaction to it. But people are just dropping them because it's like they're claiming the hell out of it. But whatever, you know.
Let's all right. First, we have to cover this because this was crazy. The PS5 reveal event opens with Grand Theft Auto 5.
Future of gaming.
Can't wait.
No, it technically opened with a sizzle reel of PlayStation 4 games, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So Grand Theft Auto 5
Wasn't it
is
retrospective? Kind of.
Grand Theft Auto.
A history lesson. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Come on, Sean.
Grand Theft Auto 5
Who needs
is
that?
Remember Knack?
Nostalgia. They're trying.
Let them talk about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is gonna find its way to next generation, the PlayStation 5, which
They're
is hilarious
milking.
because there were people who were like, "Hey, maybe this is where we see GTA 6 in the PS5 reveal event." You know, there was speculation about that, and it's like, here's GTA 5. It's going to be a game that hits 3 different generations of system.
When that
Straight up.
Rockstar logo came up, though, how many of you thought it was GTA 6? Because I thought maybe.
I mean, it flashed in my mind. I was like, but then I also
yeah.
started to go back through their catalog, and I'm like, could this be another LA Noire? Could this be another Midnight Club? Could they do anything else? And then it's GTA.
Only 2, Kevin's back, Jack. Yeah.
I was trying to do anything for him. I'm like, all right, look,
The
maybe
amount
it's
of
not
money
GTA 6.
made off of just one game is mind blowing.
It is. GTA 5 has.
They have
made
no
an
need to make
insane amount.
6. They have no need to continue the series at this
I
point. They
do.
just keep putting out 5.
I laughed and I told the Mountain this the other day when you said, John, last week, you're like, you can tell like almost the exact day that Rockstar figured out microtransactions work because it's like game, GTA 5.
Yep.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing.
like, from Tony's
And I-
perspective, think about it. Like, why do you open this up with GTA 5? You got to tell those GTA Online players.
Yes.
You're going to still be able to play your game on PlayStation
Yeah.
5. It's actually a really smart move when you think about why you do this. It's like, yeah, you have to let those players know. Keep spinning microtransactions on the PlayStation platform. Yeah, come to us. So
At least they got it out of the way.
Hold
away.
on. Open the show with GTA 5 running on PS4. I mean,
I hate it. Yeah,
what
but like,
kind of
you're not. Are you a
statement
GTA Online player though? Do you play
No,
GTA Online?
I get
If you
it, but,
do,
like,
you care about that. Like that matters to them. That's
This
a lot
is
of
the-
money.
Hello?
dude, this is the future of gaming we're supposed to be talking about here. But we're going.
The future
back in
is the
time.
past, man. Let's go.
But if you have backwards compatibility, like those people would be able to just play it anyway.
Well,
you know?
apparently they're gonna separate the GTA Online itself from Grand Theft Auto, which actually, you know what? Now I think about it, that is not a bad idea because I kind of think if GTA Online was not necessarily attached to GTA 5, GTA 5 probably would not be selling at like the ridiculous amount that it is.
GTA Online is why GTA 5 sells.
Right. Yes. So if those were separated, you know what? We might have a GTA 6 right now.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
that's a good
I mean,
point.
I mean, we all saw the little pictures, and I think Alpha Omega Sim put up one, like all the different GTA games that we got, all the variety that we got, all like, you know, within the
Vice City Stories, San Andreas, Vice City, Chinatown Wars,
Chinatown
War.
Even look at the other stuff that they did, like the Rockstar, the table tennis, all the other crap that they did, Bully, all this other stuff, and now it's just GTA. Now it's just, I mean, like, I get it.
Table tennis was good. I like that game.
No, yeah, it's good. That's one thing. That was one of the games that they like. I played it. I played the hell out of that game. I thought it was cool. But like, you know, like we got all that variety, and now what do we get? We're just getting GTA 5. I mean, and I get it, but like this seems extremely
We did have, of course, a Red Dead Redemption 2, but like it's still.
What I was gonna say is, isn't it funny how our mind automatically went to Grand Theft Auto versus like, what if they came out with the trailer and it was something for Red Dead? You know, for the new gen, but like that wasn't going through our minds at all. Like I thought that was crazy to me that everybody was like, immediately Grand Theft Auto. You know,
I did a pre-write for
Red
it.
Dead.
I did a pre-write for it. I was like, I thought it was going to be Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I'm like, I thought they were going to update it for this, and that would be like one of the things.
I just think that their online's kind of dead for Red Dead 2. Like it's not as popping. So they're like, you know what? Let's not focus on that because they wouldn't just want to just like. They're not going to just bring the game over for no reason. They want to know what's going to make money.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is going to make them way more money than Red Dead Online is going to make them.
Do you think they're going to try to improve any visuals at all? That was something from Discord as a question.
Yes.
I could see for GTA,
I could see it running 6 because that game runs 30 even on the so like make it run like 1080 like
60,
4K 60.
They're not going to put ray tracing in it.
It's like the same graphics, but just 4K 60 running on PS5.
It's just going to take the PC settings and send them to max or ultra high and say ship it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but it is crazy that a game could be so successful that they don't even make single player DLC for it.
And even if you look
That's
at like Red
crazy.
Dead, we got way more Red Dead games back in the day. Like we got there was
Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, people talk about Red Dead Redemption, how that was, but even before then, the Red Dead started before that. I know a lot of people started
Red
up with
Dead
Red
Revolver.
Yeah, the Red Dead started, and I played all those ones before. So I mean, it's not like oh, now we're getting Red Deads now. Oh, we got those before too, you know. So you know, those were around. They just weren't. I guess they weren't as people didn't think they were as good or whatever the case is, you know. But I mean, I played them. I thought they were dope.
I think I just missed like Midnight Club. And like anything other than these two games,
Keep
like
missing
these two
it.
genres,
Yep.
It's like Rockstar used to be really creative. I just don't feel the creativity from them anymore. I don't know.
You know what it is though? Again, I love the online role playing part of Twitch for GTA 5 because they're some of the most creative people I have ever met. If you ever are just like really down in the dumps, just please go watch the No Pixel server streamers because they are so funny, dude.
That server's corrupt as hell, but yeah.
They are so funny, dude. They have their own rules they run by, and it's kind of impressive. It's a whole ecosystem of like what you can and can't do.
Yeah, they're
but it's so funny.
It's gonna be interesting when GTA Online goes free and they just get flooded with a bunch of new people.
Yeah, how that's gonna change it.
Well, you got what's it called though? Are you talking like the
no Pixel? You have applications. You actually
you have applications, so they're not gonna be going into that, but.
Well,
the rest of the servers.
I'm kind of hoping that since they say that it's separating from GTA 5, that they do have plans now going forward for something different for GTA and online be its own thing. And they're like, okay, now we can make GTA 6 and then move on from there. So it's successful enough to just be its own thing at this point. But they after GTA 5, they did actually show us games for the PlayStation 5 first party, and there was a lot of third party stuff there too. And you were saying, Evan, that quite a few of those games you looked up and you're like, oh, this is coming to PC. Okay, cool.
I can't wait to buy Little Devil Inside on PC. It'll be great.
Okay, so
best game.
Yeah, it looked great.
Apparently, that was such a good trailer.
Apparently, quite a few of them are going to PC as well. But the first party stuff includes Spider-Man, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet and Clank, which Ratchet and Clank looked pretty good.
That looked amazing. I'm a fan of Ratchet and Clank. It looks so good.
That was a good display of showing how much can happen on screen at once, and the fact that when he uses that like rift thing to pull himself closer, the effect of doing that and actually moving the whole. That's pretty mind-blowing. I think they did a great job in presenting how cool that is.
We'll circle back around to Ratchet and some of the other ones. We have Sackboy, Big Adventure. Then they did have, it was like Astro's Playroom, which apparently that's coming preloaded on the PlayStation 5. So it'll be there when you pick it up. Yep. I think that's going to be, kind of like it's going to be a way to showcase that what the DualSense can do, I'm thinking.
Astro was more the VR stuff. You think this is just going to be normal, but then maybe have like a VR function?
VR.
And Astro was part of the eye camera before that too. There's a history of doing stuff like this. So yeah, you're right. I think it's going to be about the controller.
Yeah, but it's cool. It'll be cool to see Astro not have to just be tied to VR. So more people will get to have Astro. I mean, everyone will then, you know.
It matches the color scheme, the blue, white.
I mean, it looked from the gameplay, from certain aspects, that I think you can use the PlayStation VR to play some of Astro if you have it.
Okay. Then Demon Souls, and we had Horizon 2 Forbidden West.
They're not calling it 2 though. They're just calling
it's just called Horizon.
Yeah,
but it has those two little dashes under it.
It does have
in the art.
But
in the art, there's a 2, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So Spider-Man. Nate, there was confusion around Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
It's part of a remaster, right? That's what's happening. The whole game's coming over. It's
prequel. We doing a prequel now.
Lost Legacy.
I am going to tell you now, okay? I'm going to tell you now. I'll just say it. That was clearly confusing to people.
Thank you.
The trailer came up. They played Spider-Man Miles Morales. Even as we were streaming it, with MVG, you can support this. They said, okay, it's like a Lost Legacy type release. It's a standalone game. I don't see how people thought it was a sequel.
It's just because they didn't make it clear, because it just said Spider-Man and then Miles Morales. Like they didn't clarify that it was Miles Morales.
And it's not just that. They also showed it was the black background with the red spider. Like they were making distinctions. And listen, GTA 5 even said, what is it, like upgraded and expanded or something like that. Like they made it clear, enhanced and expanded. They clearly made it like, dude, you just gotta like make it clear with your marketing.
It's for us, we can go on Twitter and we can find the clarification, but I was talking to friends in real life who don't do that, and they're like, I can't wait for Spider-Man 2. Then I had to tell them that it's not Spider-Man 2, and they're like, what do you mean? I just watched the trailer for it. And then I had to explain that the game is just being ported, coming with an expansion for the PlayStation 5 at launch.
It's a standalone game, so it's not
standalone game.
Yeah, but now it's not an expansion, right? Like that was the last clarification.
It's a standalone game, but it's somewhat bigger than an expansion. It's probably like what, 15-hour max game.
It's not Spider-Man 1 with the expansion though.
It's just Miles as the main character in his own
It's
story.
Infamous Last Light. Yeah, it's Infamous.
Yeah,
it's the company that did that.
Legacy. It's a self-contained story with this main character in that role in the city. Where I mean, it's still a full game. Like I see people on Twitter like, oh wow, it's only like it's not a sequel, so now this game is less. Why is it less? If it's an 8 to 10 hour game, if you want to call it Spider-Man 2, call it what you want. It's still a full game.
Is it going to be $40?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's a history to that, right? And like Far Cry Primal, like people are like, oh, you're reusing the map, so we want to pay less. People feel that when they go to these games. So, do I think it's going to be less? I think they're going to do a lot of work to make sure that it feels like it should be $60. I bet they're going to be pretty good about that. But I think when you get in there and you realize that it's the same map, there are going to be some people who be like, maybe this should have been $40. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but people will be saying that.
Yeah, to be fair, it's going to be New York every time. Even when Spider-Man 2 comes out, it's still going to be New York, so they can't really use the same map. It's still New York.
The issue was too, it's like there's no way that you can get a full next Spider-Man, and that seems like a very little amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but that would be like, and like Ratchet and Clank, they're working on that too, you know. So like, how do they get all of that done in that time? So I think that's what's working on Spider-Man
too.
Yeah, they're probably
they have multiple teams. They have multiple teams now. Ratchet and Clank has been worked on for so long, and that game is like gonna be ready to go. This was a small team that worked on this Miles Morales one, and then a bunch of the team is working on the next big Spider-Man game, which we'll probably hear about next year.
And Miles Morales hasn't been, and it's not like something they only started development on like the start of this year or something. This is also a project that's been in development for close to 2 years. This isn't something they just threw together like really quick.
Well, it's their one launch title so far next to Astro.
Well, I mean,
I also find it weird. A lot of people were complaining like this is too short of a time to get another one or something like this. And I'm like, most game cycles work on a 2-year basis, and this is going to be coming out 2 years and a few months since the last Spider-Man game. Also, like, most games have a yearly release at this point for certain ones, and no one seems to complain anymore about those. But all of a sudden, Spider-Man comes out a little over 2 years later with a standalone, maybe 15, maybe 10-hour game. Who knows? And it's still too set. I don't think that's a good argument.
I just think people they thought it was going to be the next. Maybe some people thought it was going to be the next thing, and then when they thought of that, maybe it's not, and then there wasn't any clarification right then and there. I think the problem, like with what Click said, is that there was not clarification within the presentation. When they were very clear with many other things in the presentation, but that one they were not as clear as maybe they could have been with it.
This is the thing, like when the whole article came out about it's not a full game, people were like, you mean to tell me I have to buy the same game over again if I want it for the PS5? And there was a whole thing of, I don't want to buy the same game twice if I want to play on the PS5, like if I can buy that separate. So when they came out and said, okay, it's a standalone game, I'm fine paying separately for a standalone game. Development time, like none of that's cheap, and it's time and people's effort. Like I get that. I think it was just the frustration of me when people are like, well, Spider-Man was fun, just buy it again. And then, maybe it's on the side story or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to buy it again, dude. Like, it was fun, but like, not like wow to me. And in my personal opinion, like if you line up the story for Spider-Man, it's not the most like in-depth story. A lot of Spider-Man comes within the mechanics and the exploration in itself, which in reality isn't that deep of a game. It like the story's good, but it's not like it twists and turns and it's all over the place.
It's my favorite story on the PS4, but I get what you mean.
It's great, but what I'm saying is if you were to line it up, it's not necessarily like, I would not be surprised if they could work with the same kind of level of story. Like, I think it's probably one of the best Spider-Man tellings. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I love this Spider-Man the best out of all the different universes that we've had so far for like a cinematic kind. But it's not necessarily a game that I could see taking more than 2 years. So to me, I'm not upset if it's going to be 15 hours. I was only going to be upset if it was like, well, it's DLC on the side or you have to like rebuy the game. The fact that it's standalone, a la carte, you can get it or, you know, leave it, that's fine. But I just, again, you just needed to have like words down at the bottom or a separate slide like they did for GTA 5. Like I said, it's just make it clear because
Spider-Man always gets in these things, right? With the puddle news and now this. Like there's always something happening.
That puddle stuff was nonsense.
Miles Morales deserves so much better, dude. Especially like it's just he's such a cool character, you know. And it sucks that like all of this had to happen to kind of like take away some of the hype for some people. You know what I mean? And like I hope he does get the support he needs.
But I will say this though, I think it's still going to be super good. I know there was a little bit of people that were like butthurt about like Torna when that was first announced. They're like, well, we got to spend $90 on this game and it looks like crap, blah blah blah. But when Torna came out,
they enjoyed it.
People said they like, yo, Torna's better than the main game, and it's like it's like way less content. So I mean, this could be like much better than Spider-Man 4. I mean, or sorry, Marvel Spider-Man. It could be a lot better game, just much smaller in scope because
Spider-Man with no load time too.
Yeah, there are people
possibly even faster movement because it doesn't have to slow down going around the city. It'd be nice.
They could do some crazy stuff with it. Yeah, that'd be neat.
And also, just because Miles only gets a standalone game, I do think that Miles will have a big role, somewhat of a back and forth playing as Peter and Miles in a Spider-Man 2.
This could be a way to introduce him like into the universe where you're actually playing as him, and then you go into Spider-Man 2 and you switch off like you're saying, Jordan. That's a good point. Yeah. Or maybe even Peter ends up being a side character halfway through and you take over as Miles the rest of the way.
Or this becomes like every Miles universe and Peter dies in this one. So might happen.
You never know. You never know. We did have Gran Turismo 7. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Gran Turismo 7 is coming out for a while.
Yeah,
that's just me. But like the video they showed, that looked like some alpha footage of like the. Did you guys watch the 4K feed for it? Like when they uploaded it, there was like if you're watching it, there was some pop in towards the back end of it when they're driving around. I was like, I don't know. This feels like.
Well, I mean, in the defense, we don't know when this footage was captured to be put together for this event. They could have captured this back in February, and they've been sitting on it for 4 months.
Dude, but Poly take a long time to get those Gran Turismo games out. I am not holding my breath. This thing's gonna be out in the first year for the PS5.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, probably not.
Forza's already surpassed them in numbers at this point.
I'm really psyched that they're bringing back Gran Turismo, or Gran Turismo 7 after Gran Turismo 6 was in 2013. So I was convinced that they would stick with the games as a service model with this one.
Same.
But it's actually really good to see that they've gone back to GT7. So I'm psyched about it. And you're right.
Campaign mode?
It's probably 2 years away, honestly, before we see it. But
I'm going to push back against that. I say it's going to launch. I say it launches before 2021 concludes.
Interesting. You think so? You think they'll have it out by holiday 2021?
Yes.
Really? I think this is gonna. I think it'll be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a mid 2022 game. Like mid to early 2022 is my thought. Like an April game or something. You think it's gonna be out holiday 20? I think the only reason they'd want it out by then is if it's gonna go alongside the PlayStation VR 2.
I think everything we saw outside of the games that were dated for 2022 and the presentation itself, everything we saw from Sony is a first year release.
Oh,
I think that's how aggressive Sony is entering this generation. And that's not everything they have for 2021. They will announce.
Except for Pragmata.
Yeah, Pragmata was 2022.
It's a Capcom game, right?
Yeah.
The only 2022 that was
that
confirmed,
looked like a Kojima game with how weird that trailer was.
Kinda, right? With the little girl.
I don't even want to talk about that game. They showed so little because
there was
like this isn't a nothing. I don't know.
How did they get to the moon, Grub? How did
I think they were on the moon in a simulation, and then
this is how they faked the moon landing. This is how they did it. Yeah.
Okay, so the next. All right, the game that I think looks the most done and ready to go is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yep.
That game looks ready. Like they were playing it, and I said, "Wow, this looks really good."
I'm buying a PS5 for Ratchet and Clank.
Really? What? Really? That's the game, huh?
Oh yeah, it's the best looking game by far at the thing.
That was the best displayed full out game that they had there.
That looks phenomenal. It showed the benefits of SSD, of how we went through the dimensional rift into new worlds within a second and a half.
It was quick.
You could see that transition. And the scope of the cities once he arrived was just so vast. That game looks like a blast, and they showed a decent amount of gameplay.
Yeah, they actually played it. That way, it was good. I was like, all right, this is great. And then if you go back and you watch the 4K feed, because we were watching like 1080/30 for like with compression, and they actually go back and look at the video of it. Dude, like some of those character models they're getting like Pixar level. Like you're seeing like some crazy stuff on this system with those characters.
Yeah, looks good.
Ratchet looks fun though.
I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank. I've been playing them forever, but man, like I was talking about this, it seems like Ratchet and Clank games, like the minute you buy them, they're like greatest hits. It's like you just the next thing you turn around, look back, and it's a greatest hit, you know. So I'm hoping this one kind of sticks around a bit, you know, and people actually pick it up and everything like that. But it just seems like, man, you know, you spend 60 on it and then you feel bad because then by the time you get home, it's already greatest hit or something like that. But I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks freaking phenomenal, man.
Oh, I will point this one out because while it's not first party, it is one that's exclusive apparently for the PS5. That's from Square. It's Project. Is this Athia? Is that how you say it?
Stop.
Yeah.
No.
So I have a sneaking suspicion about this one. I think this is Final Fantasy 16.
No.
It's not.
Tell you you're wrong.
It's typical Square Enix, man. I'm not falling for their BS and getting hyped over this. It's typical Square Enix, and they can't fool me. No, I've been dealing with this. No.
Why?
Hold on. Nate said some of these games are coming out in 2021. Hey, Project Athia. I mean, that could be out.
That game didn't look finished. It looked worse than Gran Turismo.
It wasn't a game.
What? They didn't even have a title for it.
Did you see the tree with the eye?
She jumped, and then it was like, all right, trailer over. And it's like,
I want to point out this is from Luminous Productions, so you know, like 10-year dev cycle on this one.
No, Square Enix, they can't. I love Square Enix, but they're not. I went through this. Okay, the last time they did this, I was like, what was I in high school? And by the time that I got my game, I had a daughter. She was 3. Okay, so I'm not dealing. I'm not dealing with their crap, dude. And I'm not joking when I say this. They started with Final Fantasy 15, which was in 2006. I think I was just finishing my high school year or something like that, and by the time it came out, my daughter was 3 years old. Okay, so I'm dead serious. So no, man, I'm done. I'm done with that.
I said to MVG on PS6, like, I fear this is going to be this generation's Deep Down.
Yeah,
interesting tech demo, and we'll never see it again.
That's fine.
I hope not.
Square Enix isn't always that bad about like the project thing. Didn't Project Octopath Traveler come out like relatively quickly after they announced it? So the project name is not a curse necessarily, but it definitely does not give me confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Luminous Productions. That's why I'm like,
right. That's the better evidence. Yeah,
it could be a bit. Then we had Returnal. Returnal is by House Marquee, which is this looks pretty big for House Marquee to do.
Looks like they got a bigger budget this time.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow, the video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we got two video games with the same premise of.
Apparently, every time the main character dies, the planet changes.
It's kind of like a roguelike in that way.
Yeah. It's a roguelike, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but honestly, I wish we got Resogun 2 or something.
Yeah, same.
You know,
I know they don't want to make those games anymore, but I want them to keep making those games.
I think it's so good making those arcade-style games.
They don't sell those, so yeah.
Yeah, they don't sell. That's the reason why we don't get them.
We had Sackboy, Big Adventure. Looks like a fun little co-op platformer.
Yeah, looks great.
Mario 3D World.
Yeah, it's
Sackboy 3D World. That's a weird call.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When he was like throwing the boomerang or something, I legitimately felt like I was watching Odyssey for like half a second. Like he threw it out and it came back like right away and like almost the same animation. I was like, this game looks great. Like
they made their own Mario game.
I mean, I like it. Hey, if it works for them and it gets a younger audience, you know, like. I'm all for it, dude. It looks great.
I bought the Little Big Planet games, so I like those. Those were cool. And this is just like a regular platformer. Sony's always tried to do like that type of stuff with Sackboy. I know, like, remember like Mod Nation Racers, which was like their kart racing game that they had with Sackboy. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm down for this.
Let's go over to this is another one that's for the PS5, also PC though. It looks like is Ghostwire Tokyo. This surprised me. I did not think it was a first-person shooter, basically, when they showed it at first. I thought it was going to be like a Silent Hill Resident Evil game, and then all of a sudden they're like flipping on the bikes and like shooting fire out of their hands at demons and stuff.
Dude, it looks so cool.
That was awesome.
That
trailer was
There's a motorcycle involved. He's in.
I think people love or hate this because I felt nothing for it when I saw it. I was like, this is
motorcycle I'm buying.
Okay.
I was pretty hyped about it last year at E3 when Akumi came out and announced it, but this one was like, I don't know, it didn't really land for me as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, maybe because I wasn't expecting it to be a first-person shooter, basically, but I was a little surprised. I don't know.
That's the thing that kind of made me like on it. Like, I mean, I'm still gonna play it, but I mean, like, I'm not so sure about the first person. But hey, we'll see.
I need to see more of the
I think it
story
looks
and
awesome.
combat system before I can get
Right. I just want to be like the enemies are cool. I just want to be able to do more with them than shoot them. Like what else are they doing in this world? If they're just there for me to shoot, I won't be excited for this game.
You're doing the little hand things. You're going.
Oh, good point. You know what? No,
weird
I'm in now.
hands.
You got me. You got
the
me.
ninja
There, I'm buying
signs,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not quite like ninja signs, but they're like almost like.
And it has
What do
motorcycles.
real ninja signs look like?
Oh,
Oh!
All
Can't put
right,
that on YouTube.
which jutsu was that?
Yeah.
Jordan's
We're all
Jordan's
cursed.
excited. Jordan's excited though for Ghostwire.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it looks excellent.
It looks spooky.
I'm spooked.
Godfall, which I gotta be honest, Godfall
It's not
I don't
gonna
know.
be
Right?
like
trailer
counter,
looked a lot better than it initially
yeah,
did.
but it's counterplay games. So what do you guys know the counterplay's last game? Like
No.
familiar with
What
it?
was it?
I played it. It was Duelist. It's a tactical card-based game. Like it was done in pixel art. I don't know how they made this leap from that, which they abandoned, and now we're doing this. Like that's pretty nuts to me.
Money.
I think I heard it this way. Anytime you need to add like hip hop or R&B to your trailer, like you're trying to compensate for something, the combat looked really cool. I just thought it was going to be more in depth. It seemed really shallow. Like the
Say
combat
Godfall?
looks. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Like the combat's the only thing that really kept me intrigued. But from the look of it, I just was kind of like, is this like
You can unlock godlike
Is
armor.
this like a Destiny with swords?
Yeah, it's like
only?
a looter. What is it? A melee action adventure looter?
It's like it's supposed
style
to. They're trying to. Gearbox is trying to make it like Borderlands without guns. That's what they're
Yeah,
trying to
that's
do.
what
Like,
it-
oh,
yeah.
you can loot stuff and get godlike armor.
It feels like it has a pretty low ceiling, like the lofty
Yeah.
expectations of like a Red Steel. Like, we'll just maybe this game might stand out at launch, but probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we did have so Blue Point's game is Demon Souls. I think most of us expected that, but it looked pretty good. I'll say it looked
great.
good. But
dude,
I am
amazing.
concerned. I don't think this is. I think this could be mid to late next year. I thought it was going to be ready to go, like almost at launch.
Madness right there.
Whoa, okay.
2021.
Window.
You think this is going to be a launch game?
Yes. Launch
Really?
window.
That doesn't make
Window
sense
next
though. Why would they
May.
do that? Like I guess that's the kind of game that would get people to buy a PS5. But I just feel like they're going to want to wait until there are more PS5s in the world before they do that, because
I would agree with you.
I'm
Because you
not
want that
sales.
online community to build up, because you have the game have that system in place where people say take this way and you fall off a cliff. So you kind of want the community to build, but I think it's out within the first 6 months.
Okay,
I
first 6 months. Okay.
Okay.
I could see that.
The interesting part about Demon Souls is there's two modes. There's basically the performance mode and the aesthetic mode. With the
We still got
PS5
the
hardware,
two modes. Wait a minute.
Shouldn't it just be 4K 60 max res with everything like on ultra?
Not with
So
those
that's-
not with those graphics.
That's the part that it's not. It doesn't concern me, but it's like, why are we still doing this? I mean, don't we have really powerful next gen hardware, but we're still resorting to the two different modes? So I think that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
It won't happen
I don't
on the
think it looks
PS5 Pro.
good. Does anyone else just not like the way it looks? I don't know.
You think
I
maybe
like
because it doesn't have like that type of like shadowy type of gloss that like you usually see in like Dark Souls or Demon Souls?
Yeah,
Is that what you're,
it's
is that
the
what
same
you're
problem.
saying?
Yeah, the same problem I had with Shadow of the Colossus by Blue Point. Like I prefer the original Shadow of the Colossus. It has a dreamlike quality that was lost in the Blue Point transfer. I think that the same thing's happening here. I don't know.
It looks too clean. Like, no, I saw some people
Too
talk about it
clean.
looks too
Too
clean.
clean.
It looks like too
absolutely.
clean and too sharp. I mean,
You
I
are
played
losing
Demon's-
something in that sharpness. Yes.
I played Demon Souls when it first came out, like back when back when it was nothing, when I was in college, and the game was it was one of the most innovative things. I'd never played anything like it, like the people helping you and stuff like that. So I think, now that they're bringing it over here to this one, like for the PS5, like, man, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I don't play Souls games anymore, but I'm excited to see people play through and what they think about where it all started, because this was the first one, and like I remember just being blown away, like having people's like there are people like dying and like they can help you out with messages. That was dope. I mean, obviously tons of games do that now, but back then it was crazy. So it's just cool to see it come back in my opinion, at least.
Okay. And the big one at the end, the big game that okay, Nate, I think this is the launch title. I think it's Horizon Forbidden West.
No.
No.
You don't think so?
6 months
window.
Really? You don't think so? You don't think Gorilla's there at launch like they were with
I
the
think
PS4?
they want to sell. I think because if you put it at launch, everyone at launch buys it, and then when everyone else gets it in the second wave, when they have their jobs back and they can afford it, there's a bunch of used copies of Horizon sitting on the shelf that they can buy. They wait until the install base is larger. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, just the launch window. I think you launch with like a Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
You put Ratchet and Clank up against Halo.
Yeah. It's not.
You don't have
they're
to
gonna
buy
sell
Halo.
Every PS5 they make.
You don't have to buy Halo. It's on
free
Game
6 months.
Pass.
Yeah.
But you think Ratchet convinces people to buy a possibly $600 PS5?
They're going to sell every single PS5 they make for the first 6 months. They're not.
true.
There's not going to be any lack of demand. No matter if they put out nothing, there would be no lack of
you
demand.
have to think, like, are there going to be any issues in the supply chain to get,
Right.
what type of install, like, how many units are we actually going to see Sony ship at
We
launch?
know they're
At
worried
least,
about that.
At least 1 million.
So that's the thing. Like, let's say they can only ship 2 million before the end of the year. You really don't need that monster launch game because you're going to sell those 2 million units no matter what. So if you have that big game maybe in February, you're fine. And then
You want Horizon to sell like 5-6 million at least. Like,
Exactly.
and that's a lot easier when there's a lot more PS5s in the world.
It's not a launch date. Otherwise, they would have put that surprising factor on the trailer, and there was no date
the
at all.
fact that Sony omitted
good news,
a lot of
Yeah.
dating of anything outside of just like Spider-Man, they put out Holiday 2020, which we also have to remember that game will be in the launch window too, if not launch itself, is
Right.
that they really didn't want to commit to anything outside of Spider-Man, which to me says they have a little bit of concern of what they will have ready for launch later this year. And they just don't want to say, hey, Horizon's going to be launch day and then have to come out in 2 months and say, we had to delay it till March.
Right, and they still have time to respond to Microsoft, right? If Microsoft comes out in July and does like somehow get all of these new first-party studios to have pretty impressive games at launch, maybe a few of these games move up. But that I feel like Sony doesn't want to do that unless they have to. So
Right.
Okay. Well, if it's there, you heard it here. Horizon launch.
looks good though, right?
I would
Oh,
love
it looks
to have
great.
Horizon at launch.
Visually, it looks
Beautiful.
amazing. Visually, it looks like the one problem though. That is a game that I wish they had taken like 3 minutes and just run around the world for a second.
Yes. and-
Honestly, yes. I fully though, to be honest, like I wasn't ready. Like when I realized we didn't like it was all red rock and mountains in Zero Dawn. I wasn't ready to see like the ocean and like the California like kind of West Coast seaside. So when she started talking, I was like, is that Aloy? And then like you're seeing underneath the water and it's freaking beautiful and so colorful. And you're like, this is like, is this another like post-apocalyptic kind of game? But they said old ones. I'm very confused right now. And then she rides by on the freaking coast and it's like, yo, dude, we're freaking going to Edge Knot City over here, dude. We are full on West Coast right now. This is awesome. So I'm
those
excited.
Those are the first party games. For the third party games, you guys want to say what your favorite third party game was, it rather than go down the long list?
Bug Snacks.
Oh my god!
I think
Come on,
no.
Bug Snacks. That song owned.
That song is gonna get so annoying so quick.
for me it was
Wrecked my
Hitman
leg.
3 and the game with the cat with the backpack. That was
Stray.
game was legit.
I'm gonna say definitely Resident Evil 8. That was by far for me.
Little
For a lot of people,
Devil
that was like
Inside.
the
Little
best
Devil
game.
Inside, for me.
Little Devil Inside, because it starts off and I'm like, oh, another like indie. Okay, let's kind of
Nah,
style, but then it cuts to the battling. I was like, wait, hold up.
Nah,
This
you
game
like
just
the
got
poop.
really epic. The
And the
poop thing
developers
was
said today
funny.
they're going to get rid
Yeah.
of the
But-
racist caricature in it, so that's nice.
I like the
Well,
Resident
that's
Evil
good.
8 trailer, but what's up with the roided out Chris Redfield, man?
That was awful.
Can I? He didn't look good. He didn't look. He looked like he stopped like caring. Like he looked like he let himself go. He was fat.
He looked
in the
like
sheet.
HGH, so he has
He
the
looked
big
like
head.
Wesker
And
took
what
over
the hell
him.
is wrong? Okay, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, but why are they changing Chris Redfield so damn much?
They do. He
He
jumps all
looked like
over
Chris
things.
Evans in Resident Evil 7. He looked like a Captain America, and
I
now he
talked
looks
about
like
that in
this,
my video.
this fat cheesy looking dude. Nothing wrong with being fat, but he looked like this fat cheese poof eating looking dude. Like
They
what-
cannot
what?
keep his design. His Resident Evil
they
5
can't-
design was fine.
Yeah, they can't
keep it
they
at
keep
that.
on changing him, and I don't
Wait.
understand what the deal is.
Wait, hold
He
on.
punched a boulder in Resident Evil 5.
That's badass. He punched the ball. He's
the
only
biggest
punching
muscles.
cheese
He could've
moves
done it.
in this one. He's only punching
man.
snacks
His
and vending
neck
machines in this
is
next
so
one.
huge.
Well, he's
Wait.
like 50 in this.
Are you guys
There.
are you guys genuinely excited with how it looks right now? Because I thought it was like one of the least impressive looking ones. The fact that it's coming out and it's like it has a while to go into development still. gives me hope, but like I didn't think it looked that good.
It looked like Metal Gear Solid 4's like brown filter, just kind of like the colors look kind of dreary, but I mean, it looks like it could be interesting from a story perspective. Looks like it'd be pretty cool going to like that type of. People always want Resident Evil to go back to like what it was, right? Because like Resident Evil 5 got way too actiony. 6 is
Resident Evil 4 got way too actiony.
I think
Resident Evil 4 it had some isolated moments though where it was scary though. Resident Evil 4 had it had a number of those. They gave you more options to fight in Resident Evil 4. They gave you more options to fight in Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 5 is way worse, in terms of like actiony. Like Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 is crazy. So I think it's awful. Leon's campaign isn't that bad, but the rest of the campaigns are still. Anyway,
it's 1 out of 4 ain't good.
I think there's like 6, but they want to go back like that. The village
trailer was Deathloop. That was the best put together trailer. Was Deathloop? That was the most.
I don't know if I'm gonna like that game. It's hard for me to gauge.
I hope I do because I wasn't into Dishonored, but this made it look fun. And I was like, this is a really stylized trailer.
Did you guys like Prey? Did you like Prey?
I like Prey.
I felt like they just
played it. Didn't interest me.
I feel like they just mashed together Dishonored with Prey and what was the other game they did? Rage 2, and they just mashed it all together. And I didn't really feel
head game, yeah.
I didn't feel like there was anything great there. I mean, it was kind of cool, the trailer, but I don't think I'm going to get that game when it comes out.
I think the time mechanic will be the main draw for a lot of people, though. Probably, right?
I just want to know about the other assassin. Like, can someone online randomly play that and try to mess the game up? Can you play
it? Isn't it? It's a head-to-head game, right? I thought that was the whole idea.
Like they showed that like last year, right? At E3?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I totally forgot about this game since they announced it, and so re-seeing it, I was like, okay, that looked pretty fun. So,
okay, can we talk about the real game that looks amazing?
No.
Kenna.
Call about a stupid Stray game.
No, I love Stray, but I don't know anything about it. All I know is you're a freaking cat, and it makes me
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but Kenna. Okay, first off, it's by Ember Lab, who made that amazing Majora's Mask short a couple years ago. Like, legitimately, I would trust, like, if they ever did, like, a Zelda animated series or something, it needs to be Ember Lab. We were just talking about that a couple months ago. But, dude, that game looks fantastic. First off, Theophany, amazing music. He's just amazing with the talent that they do with music and orchestration. Like, if you haven't checked out their stuff, amazing. But Kenna looks so much fun. Also, the little creature things are really cute, but oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
That one looked good. You know what one didn't look good?
I liked it.
Goodbye Volcano High. I don't get it.
That's like a narrative style game, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be
not.
You gotta get the teens involved.
What is the benefit? Like it's a story about high school problems or getting in, adolescents going to adults and whatever.
It's going to be like the end of the world or something.
They all die at the end.
Yeah. So the dinosaurs.
Like you're going to graduate and
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Plus, the game has a lot of, I'll call it controversy around it right now because the writer of the game published an article on Kotaku last year that featured child pornography. So,
then I absolutely will not be buying that game.
Yeah, it's probably not good. Too much attention right now.
Okay.
Never mind.
John's like, let's just go.
Let's talk about Jet the Farshad.
Yikes.
Let's go over to we're gonna go super test, then we'll come back because we gotta talk about this PlayStation 5 design because the reactions were amazing online.
It's thick.
And we're gonna start with. Well, actually, here's a good super chat from Mr. Pete. What is everyone's favorite PS5 meme?
The one I made today.
Yes,
of the
Frieza one is amazing.
The Seto.
That was
the Seto Kaiba one from Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite one.
Someone took a cityscape and then just plopped it in there like a building, and you could barely tell. It was great.
I like the debate about it being the CGI people or not. Like, anything to do with that, I love that. People are like, oh no, that Jim Ryan was definitely CGI. I'm like, I don't know, but I love that you think so.
CGI Jim Ryan.
The Joey Wheeler one was pretty funny.
Oh, Jordan.
No, it was Kaiba. It was Kaiba, not Joey.
What? I saw a Joey one.
Where?
I'll find it.
Why would it be Joey? It's white. It's Kaiba's collar. That's the joke.
I'll find it. No.
Okay.
Find me the Joey Wheeler one.
Console Gamer says it would be funny if PlayStation announced the price and exact release date for PS5 on the day Xbox is having their event next month.
No, because it's not good news. If it was good news, they would have announced the price this past week. So that price is not going to be great. Oh
you think Sony will do something on Microsoft's day?
Probably.
Just to mess with them. Just to mess with them.
They seem like they're into that kind of thing, right? Like these days, for sure.
Yeah, Microsoft attempted to do something, but all they did was sum up all of their Xbox news and then say that what's going on Unreal Engine 5 or whatever. And, okay. Fish fan says RGT85 quarantine cuisine of the week and Mitch update.
So Mitch is all right. I had to take a few dead leaves off of him, but I've been like putting them out in the sun so that he doesn't die. So today I ordered a 30-inch sub. So I guess that would be the cuisine of the week. It was
a 30-inch sub.
Yeah, because like I was looking on DoorDash, I was like, I want something to eat. And there's this grocery store chain in the Northeast, and they make like sandwiches and good pizzas and shit. And if you ordered a $15 or more item, it was free delivery. So I looked up what they had, and they were like, you can get a 30-inch sub. And I was like, I would like a 30-inch sub.
Wait, stop. I like that it's just the two things that matter is that it's a sub and it's 30 inches. It doesn't matter what's on it. Like, is it good at least?
Oh, yeah.
It's just a lot.
No, it's delicious. I like, you could choose what meat you want. I got a roast beef, and you could choose your toppings. You get up to like 7 toppings for free. You get 1 free cheese on it. It was delivered via DoorDash for $20.
Sponsored.
Yeah. I wish it was sponsored. Go use my DoorDash code so I can get some free money. And it comes, like the box it comes in is so cool. It's just like this long ass box, and it says home of the 30-inch grinder, and like. Yeah, it was good.
So
like,
how long is that gonna last you, man? Like, is it a couple days here
right now?
What's going on here?
No, I ate. Well, I got it for lunch, so I ate some for lunch. I ate some for dinner. I would still say there's over half of it left.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're gonna
maybe
eat that tomorrow too?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to Grandma's house tomorrow, and because I got to re-up on her cooking as well. So I'll probably try to eat that though, because I know that will go bad. But yeah, they put it on a nice big ass French bread. Like, it's delicious, dude. Like my cousin got a party platter from there once for like one of her kids' birthdays. I was like, yo, how much is this? And she was like, oh, it was like $35. I was like, look at all these 6-inch subs that are on here. There's like 20 of them. And then I started to think, I was like, you can't really preserve them. So, you know, if I could preserve them, I would have bought one of those. But this works good. This works good.
This is deep. This is lore right here.
He's gonna get into the science of it, putting them in plastic bags, shoving them in the freezer.
I'm into this sandwich. Yeah.
Dude,
can you change the interviews, like the intervals of the sandwich? Like you have like 1 foot turkey, the 2nd foot roast beef, and the 3rd like Cabo, or does it have to be 30
only
inches?
cowards would do that. No.
I'm not sure. Like this was my first time ordering the 30-incher, and like it was because it was DoorDash, and like the dude just like walks up to my door with like this long. I looked like a fucking Dog Day Afternoon, where they walk in with the long boxes and they got the guns underneath them. It was like that same sort of thing. I was like
Terminator with the roses.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Bachelor YouTuber life's treating you good, Sean.
Not bad.
Game Knob says, what games do you think could be a show at Sony's August State of Play event? I'd love to have Victor Lucas from Electric Playground on the Spawncast. I'll talk to Victor Lucas. We'll see if we can get him on.
Dope, man. I used to watch him back in the day. He's part of the reason why I even started doing all this stuff, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, I've been in a few of Victor Lucas's videos before, so I could probably talk to him and see if we can have him on. That'd be cool. What game would Sony show at August? Silent Hill?
No. I got suckered into that Silent Hill rumor that was going around. And the way that I think about this is Konami will never commit to anything ever. So don't expect any Konami game to be announced at any presentation ever.
And if it is announced, they will cancel it like they did.
Exactly. Hyper Squad.
Hyper Sports R or whatever.
I was one of the 3 people. Look, the track and field game that they had on the DS was fun. Like, you could use, like, I remember Snake was in it and shit. Like, it's not that it was a bad series, but it was just bizarre to little to no fanfare. And then 2 years later, they're like, we can't. No, like, of course you did, because you're fucking Konami.
It's Konami because that's why I didn't cover that. Because I'm like, dude, there's a good chance Konami just doesn't. This game just disappears because it's Konami. How many times we hear about Konami maybe doing something and then then there's nothing, or then we get Silent Hill Downpour or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Konami's just you can't trust Konami. And then Metal Gear Survive,
I agree.
You can't trust them.
Be honest. When you saw that Resident Evil trailer when it was starting, some of you were probably like, "Oh, is this Silent Hills?" And then it started getting a little more Resident Evil.
Second, I said, "Is this Silent Hill?"
Because at first it starts playing, I'm like, this could either go either way. It's either Resident Evil or Silent Hills. And then it started getting more Resident Evil-y. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
See where you're going with this.
I think that August State of Play thing is going to be just kind of giving us a lot more info about the stuff we already know about. There might be maybe a surprise, but like
Iron Man VR.
Yeah, stuff like that. There will be PS4 stuff and in that thing for sure. And then EA wasn't in this thing, so like EA games that are coming to PS5, they'll have a little showcase inside that August State of Play. So it'll be stuff like that. Will it be as exciting as this? No way. Yeah.
Is that where they give us a launch game that's not just Spider-Man?
I think they tell us which one of these games is coming in the first 3 months or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that launch window detailed.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get to see more Horizon, or you think they'll wait?
Wait.
Because they said first
wait.
look.
I think they'll wait.
They'll
So
wait
after
because it's not.
maybe?
I don't know
coming
for
out
sure,
this
but I
year.
think they'll wait.
I mean, that's coming out what, November 14th, so they gotta start showing it soon.
No.
I don't even know, what is that, even a Friday? Probably not.
I don't think so.
I still like October better.
13th. November 13th.
They're gonna wait until the last minute because if they're having supply
Yeah.
issues, like they're gonna wait till the last minute.
November 20th. Yes, because then November 20th. There you go.
I still think though, real quick, I still think that Sony and Microsoft are worried as hell people are going to be able to buy this as much as
Understandable.
I get it, but like if they're having supply issues, there's plenty of rich assholes that aren't film paying like most people are right now, and they're gonna have plenty of money to spend, and they're still gonna sell every single one that they make for the first 6 months, kind of no matter what. Like that's just the world we live in.
People
So
put this thing on like a credit card or something to get it.
Yeah, but just like long-term prospects and stuff like that, and like where people are spending their money. I think that they're probably worrying about that, but yeah, you're totally
everyone's
right.
worried about it.
Yeah. I think they're worried just because like, are people going to be able to get back to work as fast, and everything? But hopefully, we don't got to worry about. Hopefully, by the end of the year and early next year, we don't got to talk about that.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Oh my
They're
God.
asking.
Oh man,
They're
Product
asking.
placement.
Did you eat it all?
Hashtag
No.
free
I got like over half of it left in the fridge still.
You still got 15 full inches left.
I would say probably close to 16.
Whip it out, Sean. Let's take a look at it, huh?
Well, no, it's in the fridge. This box.
I thought you had it in the box.
No.
Is it gonna fit in a fridge? Well, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what kind of
true.
frid you got.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You're
my
listening on
fridge is
audio
all-
only.
I got
I'm
a lot of
so
like
sorry.
old like milk cartons in there and shit.
Yeah, you spilled milk on your Taco Bell this year?
Fuck off.
And
Taco cereal, delicious.
No, dude. Like the problem was, I didn't know that the milk was leaking, and like I had a bowl of cereal, and I was like, why does it look like there's some milk like missing from this? And I opened it, and it was still sealed, so I was like, I guess it's fine. And then like late night, I got hungry, and I had some leftover Taco Bell in there. And the milk was right above it. And so it was dripping down onto the Taco Bell bag. And I'm like, fuck, man. I mean, I still ate the food because it wasn't like stoked or anything like that. And I'd already paid for the Taco Bell, so I wasn't going to
Taco Bell. That's mostly milk anyhow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I technically did. The one taco was pretty rough, so I gave it to the raccoon that lives in my backyard. He didn't seem to be bothered by it. He ate the whole thing, but everything else, I thought was all right.
Oh man. Ziljan says Windows 8 over Windows 8 over Windows 7 might be the only one that feels this way, but I really hate the UI of Windows Vista and 7 with a passion. 8 and 10 are perfect. 10's good. 7 I think is better than 8.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Ziljan says PS5 with disk drive going to be $650 and diskless going to be $500, and a diskless better have a 2 terabyte because 800 gigabytes.
You couldn't be further off from those prices.
Every word was just so wrong.
That was the pricing with the
wrong.
design. We're going to get into that in a minute. Symphonic Balance says, hey, everyone, hope you all had a good week, as we've now seen with GTA 5 and probably Skyrim as it keeps getting ported. Do you think this is the beginning of a new trend where games will be around for several generations?
That's not really a new trend. I mean, Rayman 2 was
Resident Evil 4.
But
Resident Evil 4, Rayman 2, they kept
Super Mario Brothers.
yeah, but the thing with Resident Evil 4 is that like Capcom still makes Resident Evil games. Like they just stopped making Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah, that's true. Like they still make Resident Evil. Yeah,
because people keep buying it.
Yeah.
It keeps selling. If I have a product and people continually buy it, and now with my GTA Online, people are pouring in money to that. Why the fuck would I bother?
Here's the thing.
Branching out.
But here's the thing I have with that, Sean. They could take GTA Online, which is the reason GTA 5 sells in the first place, and they could pair GTA Online with Devil's Third, and Devil's Third would become one of the best-selling games ever made.
Let's not get there. They have to take work away from making more stuff for GTA Online. So yeah, they're not going to do
that. Desi,
of all things.
Hey, it'll drag Devil's Third to the top of that MPD charts, kicking and screaming.
Hey, Devil's Third is kind of rare on the Wii U, so yeah, I think that might. Yeah, it's not a common. It's not like you can't just find it. It's kind of rare to get. I got a copy though.
Where's Max when we can bring it off his bookcase?
Desert says, "How bad do you think the Last of Us Part 2 user score will be?" It'll probably be like a 3 or a 4, I think. When they open it, it'll immediately get with zeros by.
Who cares? Just
before the game even comes out.
I can't
Who even looks to those?
Everything gets destroyed by user scores now anyway. It's like it doesn't matter.
I said this beforehand when I said it on the podcast. I said, bro, it does not matter about this controversy. The game is still going to review and sell extremely well. And it's going to review, and it's already the reviews part's coming out, and now the sales part. Maybe some people won't buy it, but it's
basically, if people on Twitter, bitch about a game, that means the game is going to sell astronomically well. You can't buy this game. Yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield really hurt that.
Yeah,
Spider-Man Miles Morales, that game's going to sell like freaking crack cocaine in the 80s. Like, get out of here, man. Anything that Twitter hates, as far as the controversy, and I'm not going to buy this game, then just go ahead and tell yourself that game is going to sell very, very well.
Yep. And most of those people will buy it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those Pokemon people absolutely bought. They said that they did it. They absolutely bought that game.
Modern Warfare 2 DLC. Yeah.
They absolutely bought the game.
We're like, oh yeah, we're not going to buy this game. We're going to boycott Modern Warfare 2 because it doesn't have servers or whatever. And then everyone in that group, you could see it. Every single one was playing it on launch day. So yeah. It's going to be like that all over again.
Joel's Garcia says, "I'm so happy my crap laptop can play Persona 4 Golden." Yeah, the system requirements are so low. As long as your laptop can turn on and it was made in the last 10 years, it can probably play it. Mirror Shield says the PS5 design is beautiful. How many times do people want a regular black box? This new design is forward thinking and looks stylish, and whoever disagrees is just basic.
That's not why I disagree.
We'll get
it's ugly,
to that
and I like
it. Ruffle Mutt says announcements everywhere, but where's Nintendo?
What?
They put out a new Paper Mario. That new Paper Mario trailer was pretty legit.
Yeah.
What's a Nintendo? I don't know what that is.
They've been quiet. Just let them.
They're giving people their spotlight. All right.
Why?
What do you mean?
They shouldn't do that in the world of business.
You need
Fuck the spotlight. I would never get. I don't want to give anyone else a spotlight. I want it all on me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yet you just today said, "Hey, John made a video about this, but watch mine too." So you gave him spotlight with that.
Because I was like, "Oh, people are gonna be fun with it."
You should have never mentioned him then. You should have never mentioned him then. You should have never mentioned him then.
I was nipping it at the bud.
No, you weren't nipping nothing. You mentioned him. No, you told you had it all on you. No, you had no problem mentioning John.
What happened?
No, I was working on a video today, and then I'm looking through my sub feed, and there's Spawnwave with a very similar video, and I'm like, "Fuck me!" They're gonna be like, "Hey, you just copied him," and I'm like, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna."
And all the people that say that, what do? They watch his video and they watch your video.
They watch it anyways.
I mean,
they watch it anyway. So what does it matter?
They usually take a little while to make. It's not like immediate. So yeah. Zach Gibson says, "Hey, I love the show. Just wanted to give a shout out to Nate and MVG. Everyone should check out their awesome work on Nate the Hate."
Aww.
Thank you.
Especially coming soon, because there might be some interesting introductions.
Oh, okay.
If OJ donates $100, we will dedicate it to his beard.
Then Console Gamers says, "Evan, do you do commissions for profile pics and banners?"
I messaged him back. Yeah.
Very cool. Also, Nate, did you hear about this rumor 19 months ago about Metroid Prime? And then it just kind of trails off, Nate. I don't heard about Metroid Prime.
19 months would be a conservative number of when I first heard about Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Oh, when did you? Well, when was that? 19 months ago? Was that around the time you lost your mod status or no?
I resigned.
Oh.
I walked out of that like
Actually,
John does this joke every other
Every
Spawncast.
time.
There's like that's
Every
like
time.
every Spawn-
I resigned.
It was mutual, right?
So please for himself.
The Waltman says thoughts on AT&T looking to sell WB Interactive for $4 billion. Supposed reason one of the shareholders has deemed both DirecTV and game division as non-vital assets. Source CNBC. AT&T is just looking to get at debt. They'll sell stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if they try to sell it.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if they try to sell. But if people think they're selling Batman, they're not selling Batman. They're selling some studios and probably licensing agreements to work on those games.
I wonder why they're in debt. Maybe decades of trash service. But hey, that's just a guess.
I don't think a system first party company would. I think it'd be like Take-Two and EA are interested. That would make sense. I get that. So sure, you could see that. I wouldn't be shocked actually if that happened. Then Zildjian dropped a Black Ops 3 Steam code in the super chat. I'm sure somebody probably grabbed that one. Wishbone says, why is KFC doing a next gen console prank in June? I don't know.
That was weird.
I don't know what that's about.
That was weird.
Didn't they
find
also
out
do
a way
that
to
game?
sell me some chicken and biscuits.
Is that just to be funny? I don't know.
It's just to be funny, and and Sony just made this. It's just marketing, guys. When you go to college for this stuff, they tell you got to take advantage of what's going around, and they're taking advantage of everybody.
They really got us all.
Worked. Yeah,
they got us all laughing.
Yeah, it's a nice little laugh.
I still love KFC.
KFC's trash.
Popeyes is better.
No. See, the KFC that, because like, of course, there's a story with it. I had a KFC right by my house, and like every time I would go, because I would get the bowls or whatever, and they used to have the barbecue.
The 30-inch chicken, right? Yeah.
No, they had the barbecue. They had the barbecue little sliders that were like $1.50 or something. And every time I would go, I would always look and see who was working in like the little kitchen because you could see it through the drive-through. And there was this one dude. He had a mustache. His name was Carlos. And whenever Carlos was working the prep line, the little sliders would be like that big. But like when Carlos wasn't there, they were like that big. So like you got so much more food. So it got to the point where like, me and my buddy would be sitting in my apartment and be like, yo, you want to get KFC? Yeah, let's get KFC. It's like, yeah, we got to see if Carlos is working. So we would actually call up there and be like, yo, is Carlos working? And like, if they said no, we just wouldn't get it. But if Carlos was on the prep line, that's how you knew you were going to get good food.
All right, so I got to look for a Carlos. You
got to look for a Carlos.
Is Carlos there? All right. Or you can just go to Popeyes and just get anybody there. That's much better.
Zildjian asked Sean, genuine question, RGT, do you actively look to avoid playing games on PC? It honestly seems like you do.
Sure do.
And then they dropped the Steam code in as well. Sure do. Sean's just straight up about it. Yeah, I do. Let me stop there and go over to Evan. Do we have a Discord question?
We're talking about the system hardware next, right?
We are going to move into the look of the PS5, yes, and then we're going to come back and do Streamlabs before moving over to Persona.
So we got one question here asking whether or not we think the light on it might be RGB related, or if it's just going to be blue. Like,
okay, let's move over to the system then. On that, I think what you'll see is that light will act like what the front of the PS4 does now, where it's either like a white, a blue, or a yellow.
Yeah, if it's in standby,
right?
If it's in standby, if it's turned off, or if it's red ringed or whatever, it's
probably like that. But it might be. But when it's in like standby, it might be either a pulsing, very dim lit light. It's not gonna be like super bright, I don't think, like that when it's in standby. But looking at the system, because they unveiled it, and that was certainly not a system you didn't have an opinion on. I'll say, like, no one looked at that system and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was going to look like." That caught everyone off guard.
It looks like in 2007 when you would Google like PS7 concepts, and it would be these random Photoshop pictures.
Yeah,
and you'd be like, "Wow, that would never happen."
That does kind of,
it's very interesting.
That does kind of lean into the other question as well. Visually speaking, do you prefer the PS5 or the Xbox Series X right now?
Okay, this is a good question. I
think it depends.
I think if that matters to you, you're a fucking weirdo. Quote me on that. You're not taking the system. You're not taking the system out on a date and trying to bang it. You're simply playing video games on the system. Like it's a medium to play of entertainment. I don't care what I don't care if it looks like.
You need to speak for yourself, sir. We got a lot of different types of people that come here.
It's a question: which one do you want to sleep with?
Oh my god!
But Sean, you will have one in your living room.
PS5.
Supposedly,
so your swipe rights will come through the door and see it
on a shipping container for months.
I mean, it's going to be sitting like in your living room, like possibly as like the showpiece in your entertainment center. So it could clash with what you have.
Sean has the baby from Death Stranding.
Yeah, just put it next to the Death Stranding baby.
It's on my dresser in my bedroom.
Right, but obviously people care about what the system looks like, Sean, because we get collector's edition that people really like.
Yeah, those are just color variants, though. And you're not going to get a color variant on that thing anytime soon. They're going with that. They're going with that two-tone, which should have surprised nobody. I don't understand why people. Two-tone. It was a two-tone controller.
Yeah, we kind of. But it's such an aggressive-looking system compared to what they did with like the PS4. I think
it's got like those pointy tops on it. Somebody breaks in your house, you stab them in the stomach with it.
They're not pointy. They're kind of
no. Everything about PS5 is rounded.
How heavy do you think
it is?
I mean, it still has like the collar look people say, right? Where somebody
honestly, part of me is like they got a leak of like the Xbox. So like that thing is so like straight and angular looking. We have to like curve all the edges. I'll just round everything out. We can't look anything angular. Just round everything out.
Microsoft released a cinder block, and then Sony releases a router. So
it looks like an Alienware kind of.
It does. It looks like that. It looks kind of like. I mean, not exactly, but it has that same kind of. Yeah. I guess just theme or look as that Alienware UFO thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like that.
I don't know. Something tells me. I'm not an engineer, and I don't know how they design. Something tells me that this design is just kind of based off of like the system itself and what they were trying to do with the system.
From something.
Yeah. More so than them trying to make it look a certain way. You know.
How do you feel about the disk drive?
Yeah.
The disk drive.
How do you feel about the placement of it?
So the idea here is, if you look at the system, the digital version of the system, it's pretty obvious that's what the PS5 was supposed to look like.
Exactly. Right. That's what I was saying.
We got to put a disk drive on this thing, and they were like, they were running out of time. It was like 11:30 at night, and they had the science fair project due the next morning, and they were just like, slap it on the side. We're good.
Do you think
that worked?
Well, I was gonna say, if you get to take this thing apart, do you think you'd be able to kind of like remap it? Like if you. Like I don't know, like how I don't know this kind of stuff, like taking stuff apart. Like would there be a better way to like have that disk drive in a more like symmetrical place?
The only reason that disk drive would be there is if that entire middle section of that PS5 is completely like it is completely necessary. Like it has to be like that. And the reason I think that's the case,
thermal.
Yes. I think
it has to be.
I looked over the system a lot yesterday because I was putting a video together where I'm trying to outline kind of like what I did the Series X. And I was really close to that Series X drawing that I sent MVG that one time where I mapped it all out. I think they have fans at the top, and it's all one large fan shroud that's pulling air through. But I think it's two different cooling zones because one has to have the power supply and the other one has the heatsink for the top of the SoC. And it has to shoot air out the top and at you, which is weird.
I mean, in a way, I kind of expected the design to be weird or abstract because since PS2, they've always picked some building and designed it after a building. And I think there's some pictures that people have already found the building that looks like the PlayStation 5, but like the PS2, PS3, and especially PS4, like you can go see the PS4 building in Boston. They've all been designed to look like that. So this is definitely more of a very unique and elegant trying to say this is to fit their theme of the future of gaming. They made a console that looks like it's from the future. So
I agree with Jordan. I mean, I think, if you think about the PS3 George Foreman grill and the PS4 pencil eraser and the PS2 VCR, I mean, they've never had a conventional look about them, right? So the real question is whether we'll appreciate the look of it, 6 months after we've all bought it and it's in our living rooms. I think it could grow on me, and I think I could really like it. I mean, it's a weird looking shape, no doubt about it, but I mean, give me 6 months with it. I think I'll probably appreciate that.
I think the size is the thing that's going to be the weirdest thing for the longest amount of time. It is humongous. It is gigantic. Like
it's a big system.
It's like 1.5 feet.
It's significantly taller than the.
That's gonna mess up some shelves. Do you think a lot of people are gonna try to?
It's not gonna fit. Not vertically. Definitely not.
You're gonna have to turn it.
It's like the size of a 30-inch sub.
Which I will say, the image that they used on its side, it looked like it was floating. I thought that was pretty cool.
I think there's a stand for it.
Yeah.
I think there's a horizontal stand, which is very weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, first for consoles.
I just think they're gonna get like a slim version, and it's like, and they're gonna and it's gonna look a lot better. Like I think that the design, this one, it is what it is, but they're gonna redesign it just like they redesigned all their other systems, and the redesigned one's gonna look a lot better. I mean, but we'll see. I just think that it's just kind of an ugly system. I mean, I know they're trying to go for a futuristic look, but it kind of looks beat to me. I mean, but at the same time, it's just a system. So
what if there's a pro version 2 years from now that's actually thicker than this one?
Oh man,
it's just two of them next to each other.
3 collars. Yeah.
Just release a PC tower and call it a day. Then it gets to that point.
Like, the weird thing about it, like, the more I look at it, it reminds me of like the architecture we see in like the Philippines or like Dubai.
Exactly.
They have those types of structures, but they also they looked at the Japanese market and gave it the finger with this design because of its size.
That's a good point.
Electronics, and Sony came out and said, "The hell with it, we're releasing a giant tower."
Well, I mean, they don't have to care about. I mean, look, I covered Japanese sales and there's no need to pay attention in Japan at all.
This is such a Western-oriented piece of hardware.
Sony doesn't care about Japan anymore. There's really they got who's Japan Studios working on Astrobot. That's what they've relegated them to do. Astrobot, Japan Studio. That's what they're working on. We're not getting any of the cool stuff that they used to work on. We're getting Astrobot, which is it's going to be a good game. But I mean, come on, that's what their Japanese studios working on. Astrobot.
I think they had to go with this kind of design, and it just had to be that big, unfortunately. I mean, when you see the Series X, you kind of realize it's gonna be either kind of wide or just a little taller. They're both working with AMD, so it's not like they're getting different chips or something that are that completely different. So once I saw the Series X, I figured Sony was probably doing something similar. They just dressed it up a little better, but they both made towers, so there we go. Do we have a Discord question over there, Evan?
Whoa! What about price?
You want to go to price right now? We can go to price.
I mean, in the digital edition, like, what do you guys think the spread's gonna be?
Yeah, so we have these two here, and we have one with a disc drive, one without. It's the digital one looks better. I will say that.
Yeah.
I think that
reminds me of the 360, that shape with the faceplates.
Yeah, it does. You're right. I'm gonna say, I mean, I still think 500 is like the one that most people are gonna buy is the $500 model. I'm trying to figure out the difference between the digital and the regular. I want to say they'll get their $400 system because I know Sony wants that.
I'm thinking $399 and $499.
$450 is such a weird number to put on shelves, but that's what we saw with that. It was the Xbox SAD, right? That was not that much cheaper, even though it should have been. It should have been really cheap, but it took them a while to even get it down to a comparable $150 price.
I think if it's $400 for the digital edition, there's not very many of them. They're going to be really hard to find, and the reason they exist is so people say, "Well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy the $400 one," and then they can't find that, and they're like, I'll just buy the $500 one. I think that's how it goes.
You think it's going to be $100 difference though?
I don't. I think it's going to be $50, but
I would say 50. Well,
50 just seems so awkward. It seems so awkward.
Yeah,
there's no point of drives.
That's my struggle too. I think it's just not enough. But
it could be just from the psychological marketing standpoint. $50, that mind screw with people.
But $49.99.
What if we're looking at it a little differently though?
That one's goes the other direction.
What if the systems are the same price? And what if the digital edition just has larger SSD?
That is a possibility.
That's a possibility.
You know what I mean? What if that happens? What if they're like, okay, this one is a 1.5 terabyte?
Then you make things even weirder for people because
it make it more confusing.
Yeah, because then it's not like you save memory or you save space by having a physical. They all installed to the hard drive anyway, so that means it makes it like, well, do I take this but then not get my physical?
I think there'll be price point.
But it's also a 4K Blu-ray player then too if you buy that side of it. And
that's why I think there will be a price
$250
difference
anyway.
I think it's about putting two things on the shelf so that you are comparing prices. They want you to think about I'm just going to spend $50 more to get this other one. Yeah, that's way better. Instead of if it's $500, you're like, is it worth $500? But if they put these two things side by side, you begin to just think about the difference between the two, and they've already kind of got you. They're like, okay, you're just thinking about that. It's much easier to sell a person something that costs $500 if they're only thinking about a $50 difference. So I think that's the key here.
I think it's 400 and 500, and I think there'll be a $600 2 terabyte model. I think you'll have 3 SKUs, a largest, and then I think there'll be 3. I think there'll be a 2 terabyte $600 version.
Eventually, maybe.
That's though, don't you think?
Jordan, you had me at the start, and then you said the $600 one, and you lost me.
Well, you don't have to buy that one. That's just an option.
No, I'm saying
Are you saying you'll have 3 SKUs at launch or 3 down the line?
I don't know at launch. I'm just saying I think that before we get any redesigns of the console,
I would agree
3 versions of it. I think we'll get a higher price 2 terabyte model.
4 and 5. Is this one controller? Nothing else?
We don't know.
Oh yeah.
We have no confirmation yet.
I think that I don't care how great the PS5 is. $600 models just don't do anything. That's not feasible. For us maybe it is, but for 95% of people that is not feasible. Nobody's rushing out there and buying.
You'd have to explain why that model exists, which mostly comes down to you saying, okay, am I going to take the chance that these SATA 4 NVMe drives that I can buy would be cheaper than the $100 difference I can get it for today? Because I have a feeling those are going to come out, and 1 terabyte of that's going to be like $150 minimum at that time. So all of a sudden now you're actually spending more money to get more space that you could have taken care of it.
And that's how they'll sell you on buying a bigger model instead.
Like if that's there, I'd buy the larger one, because I know that I don't know if even the SATA 4 NVMe will be available at the time that's compatible with it anyway for me. So I'm like,
right, yeah, that's still up in the air. We don't know.
Yeah. So they're relying on stuff that we don't even know about right now with that. So it's like, I'll just get the larger size. So, but I mean, most people believe that the main model is going to be $500 then.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 5.
4 and 5.
I think they're going to be losing money at that price, though. I think even at 500, they're going to be losing money at each sale.
What about Series X then?
Yeah. Probably, though, but I think Microsoft's going to be okay with losing money.
Microsoft, I think they're rolling in with a $500 system either way. They don't get.
Yeah, no way Microsoft's going to 500. Yeah, and then the black cards could be like 300. Yeah, maybe 250.
Microsoft's going to come in aggressive, and actually, this is going to be a topic that MVG and I discuss next week on Nate the Hate, and we have a
lot of Nate the Hate plugs.
We have an excellent guest lined up for this topic, and we're going to have a lot of interesting insight on the price war.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. That'll be fun. Do we have a Discord question, Evan?
We have 2 related to the next gen stuff and 1 for Persona 4. So I guess we'll get through these.
Let's do the next gen ones, then we'll go over to Persona 4 after I go through some Streamlab stuff.
One person has a concern about third parties making games between the PS5 and the Series X. Like they're not going to fully utilize the benefits of either. Or do you think we're just going to be seeing like the third parties kind of have like the watered down next gen versus the first party games?
That's not the problem. It's the PC. If you're making a game for PC, there's still going to be people using mechanical hard drives. The Xbox Series X is not going to factor into that problem at all. It's going to.
Well, no, they're considering that the SSD and the PlayStation 5 should be faster, but that the power in the Xbox is better.
You mean with the Series X versus PS5 kind of? There was wasn't it an ex-Ori developer that mentioned that they would just work around and third parties would just get what they can out of the Series X.
There was. He did say, I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw in last. And I mean, people talk about the Cell architect. Remember that? They just made the game. You know, they're going to do what they can to just make the game work, do the best that they can for each platform.
We're talking about load times of like. I mean, seriously, like half a second here. Like it's nothing that's really, I think, going to be unable to be worked around.
Guys, don't get so gassed up on this SSD stuff. Just let the games come out. Y'all play the games, all right? Like
Ratchet & Clank does look really good. Ratchet & Clank
cool.
makes me want to say to Nintendo, put an SSD in the Switch. Like, please, I want you to be able to make games like this.
The Switch will be this big? How big will the Switch be? Like this?
No, there's an SSD in your iPhone right now, man. It's already in there. Like, yeah.
How much is an iPhone, bro?
I get. Okay, price is a different thing. All right, yes, price is one thing for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about.
I would buy an $800. I would buy an $800. So, I mean,
a lot of people would.
Yeah.
A lot of people would. What?
No. $800 Switch. That's a hard pass for me. I wouldn't spend that much.
I think if the games could sell it, you would.
If Metroid was there, I would get it.
Metroid Prime Trilogy. Come on.
Metroid.
It didn't take much. One game. One game. It's
games instantaneously. Yeah.
So that's a hard no. Wait a minute. Metroid? Never mind. Yes.
All right.
And Chrono Trigger.
Oh, Nate's getting his mod stats back tomorrow. All right.
And Mother.
Becca's live says, thank you all so much for the inspiration. I finally hit the go live button on Twitch. Is anyone else excited for the expansion for Pokemon this week? Miss Click was talking about it earlier. If so, what are you most looking forward to? I'm being honest. I dropped Pokemon a while ago. So
Did they get rid of Hop? Is he not in the expansion?
I don't think he is. But wait, he might be.
My God, it's already better.
Never mind. I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching the PokeTubers go through that.
There you go. Austin John's on it. He's on it.
Also, congrats on starting streaming. That's exciting.
Yeah.
First step is taken. Keep at it.
Justin Time says, I've been listening to Spawncast for about a year now and enjoy listening, everyone. This is my first time ever donating to live stream. I know it's not much, but I hope it helps. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Justin Time.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Hyde says, much love, guys and gal. Am I the only one who wants to see Tony Hawk American Wasteland or Underground 2 remastered? Skate 2 is better than Skate 3.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong about Skate 2 being better than Skate 3.
Jordan, what? Oh, he's not here for American. Oh, all right. As Jordan would say, buy Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Okay, so we can get Underground.
That's right.
He does say that.
Yeah, buy Tony Hawk 1 and 2 apparently, so we can get Underground. BS says, do y'all think PlayStation will still outsell Xbox because Xbox exclusives are still coming to PC immediately while PlayStation's will take years? Yeah, I think the PlayStation will still outsell the Xbox.
Yeah, but not because of that. I don't think that makes that much of a difference. Most people that want to play on console want to play on a console, so it's not because the games are going to PC.
Prince of Duval says, it's been a while since I asked, but now that we know more about the PS5, if you could pick only one of the next gen systems based on what we know so far, which would it be?
As of today, right now, PlayStation 5. By far, because you don't know about what the Xbox Series X is doing. And when you compare the third-party games that they showcased during the Xbox Series X unveiling to what they showed third-party wise on the PS5 unveiling, the PS5 to me was much more impressive.
I agree, but I would say let's just wait until Microsoft has their turn.
Well, yeah. But I mean, we're
like right
basing
now.
it on today. Yeah.
Well, the only thing is that like you said based on what we know that the third party, but those third party games were also confirmed for Xbox as well. So,
but it just shows that some of them are there are a lot of that were like timed exclusive. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, like all the big like Resident Evil. I agree. You know, like like Aaron Greenberg came out on Twitter and said like, hey, this tweet. Like the
But here's the thing. Tell me some of the games you remember from the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, but
unveiling.
That was always an overflow event. They were always planning that for like the things that they weren't going to put in their real thing. So that's their fault for not representing that correctly. But I do want to be like, that is what it was.
Yeah, kind of like Microsoft's thing was, basically their equivalent of a state of play, while we just had Sony have their E3 equivalent event, and we're still waiting on Microsoft to do theirs.
Right.
It's tough because I want Halo Infinite. That's the tough part. So,
I mean, based on what we know, I mean, if you look at it though,
still.
Yeah,
I mean, right. True. But I'll say this: Microsoft, they do have like the value stuff because you have all that backwards compatibility right there at launch. You can just play everything, So I mean, well, yes, we know more about PlayStation, but they didn't give a lot of they gave some dates for stuff, and there's not a lot. Launch, whereas at launch with Microsoft, you can damn near play everything, dating all the way back to the original Xbox.
There's something that wasn't explained in the PS5 event. What do we do with
it was explained a little bit, wasn't it? We believe in generations. That's I think they're being very kind of sneaky about how they're approaching the stuff. It's the getting people to applaud when you say you're going to pay for online at E3 2013. They're like, oh, we believe in generations. Applaud us for that, but that means maybe not as much backward compatibility as people are hoping for.
I don't know. Based on what we know, like if we're looking like just at launch, I mean, Microsoft seems to be like
if they have Halo,
the values there. Yeah,
they
get Halo. You've got all that past compatibility with previous systems, man. There's some bangers on the
and they don't
that people missed.
And they don't have to like wait to like sell systems because they don't care about that stuff. If they put it on Game Pass, it's forever. That stuff is always going to sell Game Pass. So if it's not like people are going to go buy that stuff used. They're just going to keep subscribing to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So the incentives are very different between them and Sony. So they could have a lot more stuff at launch, and I think there's a potential there. We'll have to see. I still have some skepticism in Microsoft's dedication to the idea of making like the quadruple A level games. Maybe we'll see.
Okay. That'll work. Then we have Prime saying, "Hey, all this Friday, I finally finished every Spawncast episode while I was at work. I just want to thank you all for the entertainment. Question: have you thought about getting Reggie or Phil Spencer on the cast? I noticed Reggie follows you on Twitter.
You would never have him on here. Never. Not good enough.
We should get Phil Spencer on here. He's pretty in tune with the community. He might come on and talk to us for a bit.
He's a great interview for sure.
Okay, we'll see. But that one might have to be pre-recorded, so we'll see about that. I don't know if Sean can show up with his 30-inch sub and talk to Phil Spencer about that.
Oh my God.
I feel like he would appreciate it.
Ask some questions to Phil about Grindr. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see how either of them would respond to Sean showing up with a 30-inch sub from Grindr.
Just ask for some, yeah.
Just in time says Insomniac has been my favorite developer. They make a ton of quality games each generation, and can't imagine what it'll be like on PS5 now that they're first party. I want to see Spider-Man 2. That's what I really want to see. See how crazy that looks.
Take Ratchet and Clank and enjoy it.
Oh, I'm gonna get Ratchet and Clank. Absolutely. I mean, if that's there at launch, that's coming home with the PS5. Ricky says, how much do you guys think PS4 hardware limitations have affected last generation games in terms of gameplay, level, world design, and stuff? Fan of this show from Indonesia. Keep up the good work. I think the main thing is like when you go between transitions or different areas where they make your character walk slow.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII's mini transitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you kind of get crawl through areas to slow you down and stuff. Yeah.
I think the CPUs are also holding back a lot of like physics stuff and along those lines. So AI. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Final Fantasy VII, like you're running in the forced walk, and you're like,
"Yep,
just walk like that. Just let me take a breather here, real quick. Walk for a little bit."
Then we had Shamsa in the Streamlabs donating a quite generous $500.
Jesus,
Shamsa. Very generous of Shamsa to do that. I was watching your stream earlier, OJ, and noticed that Shamsa came through there too.
Yeah.
So, I just want to let Shamsa know that we appreciate.
We really appreciate you. I honestly, Shamsa's been extremely nice and has fantastic taste in music. Might I add? Every single music request she asked for the whole stream were straight bangers. So shout outs to Shamsa.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Shamsa.
Hearts in the chat for Shamsa, please.
Yes.
Tammy says honestly,
dedication on Need to Hate.
Surprisingly, also to OJ's beard.
Nate, the chat says you need to get a webcam before any of that any of the Streamlabs stuff
starts. Blast.
It might be time for that webcam, Nate. People are gonna start asking questions.
I have a webcam.
It might be time.
Oh, that's even worse.
Nah, you can't be asking for Streamlabs and don't show your face now, bro. You take this super chat or nothing.
It might be time, Nate. It might be time to get that webcam opened up. Get that going.
I've been on the webcam with my mask.
Are you on your laptop right now?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go ahead and peel the tape off your webcam because I know it's on there. Okay, let's you said we have a super chat.
$10,000 for me not to wear the mask. I already replied to that in a comment before.
All right, Evan, what's the other next gen question that we have?
We had one person who was concerned with games going towards Series X and PS5. What we have right now on the Switch with the ported games, they all kind of have like that Vaseline effect, or there's a lot of sacrifices, and it seems to be a lot of like the system's power. So like going forward, how much worse do we think it's going to get for games coming over?
On the Switch?
Yeah, like Outer Worlds, for example.
Not going to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think
both.
Exactly. I mean, I think OJ mentioned it last week. It was a good point. I mean, I think the last gen 360 PS3 style ports, I mean, they'll continue because, I mean, we know that they run well, but anything that's kind of current gen right now, I think they really have to take a good look at whether it's actually something they can actually port, instead of Virtuos basically saying we can port anything, which is not really a true statement, because there has to be a really good path to be able to port something that's current gen. And I think a lot of developers are, aware of that. So that's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, same thing. There's only a handful of games people talk about next gen. Bro, what about this gen? Like, there's literally nearly nothing. Like, just a few in terms of day and date and stuff. So it's already been like that, which I said 3 years ago. It's going to be like that because they don't care as much. It's just, and Nintendo does not do what they want. They all had a hissy fit. Microsoft or the third-party developers after the 7th gen, they said, screw this cell architecture. You guys need to be the same so we can develop this stuff easier. If Nintendo's going to continue trying to do stuff differently, they're just not going to get everything like those two do, because the developers really fought back against that and made them say, hey, you guys need to make the same type of system. So that's just how it is.
Let's go over to Persona 4. Persona 4 Golden has launched on Steam. It is $19.99. It's available right now. They announced it at the PC Gaming Show. It seemed to go live before it was supposed to, but it's there. It is now top seller on Steam. Immediately jumped to the top. I mean, it's a good value at $20. It's great pickup there. And OJ, you played a little bit of it. I downloaded it. I literally looked at the menu before we went live here, just see the options. But what would you think of it so far?
It's very weird because you can run it at 1440p. So you can run it and it looks very sharp and it runs great, but it's a Vita game. And it's so clear that it's a Vita game. And it's even like the textures and some of the stuff, it's like blurry but sharp. You know what I'm saying?
Not I know
blurry,
you're saying,
but it's like
you can tell it's like a low resolution image essentially on like parts of the background and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just, and it's still the game's still great, but it just looks so weird because of their facial expressions and stuff, where there's not much of them and stuff. It's like that in terms of like some of the other characters, so it just looks weird. But once you start playing the game and like you get into the game, it's still the same great game as it's always been. But it's just a little, because I've always been used to playing it like in SD or playing it in you played in it was 40, it was standard definition on the PS2, and then on the Vita they made the graphics, they changed things around, made it a little bit better, but it was still the PS Vita screen. So going to this and that type of resolution bump is just kind of jarring at first, and like the frame rate, but it's Persona 4 and it's still really, really good.
Just for reference to today's peak player rate for it was 23.9 thousand.
Oh gosh, really? Yeah. Wow. Atlas showed up and
that's
got
peak
some
concurrent player. So that's just everyone playing at once.
That's a really good number for any game. Yeah. So that's impressive.
Great.
You could have at least put a Persona logo right there in the top left. I mean,
okay. So Persona now on PC. It was Persona 4 Golden. That is technically Persona going to something that's not a PlayStation system, which surprised a lot of people when we started hearing those rumors, because that one, it's of course coming from the Vita, but two, they decided to put it on PC rather than PlayStation 4, which is also very strange. So I guess I don't know if there were talks behind the scenes between Sony, Atlas, Sega, or whoever, and maybe Sony just doesn't care that it's going to PC or how any of that way, because no one really knows the situation between Sony and Atlas and Sega when it comes to the Persona series.
But there's a situation, like we can all sense that, right?
Yeah, because that's kind of even the final Discord question is Persona 4 to the Switch. What's Atlas's problem with Nintendo?
I do, and I've tried everything that I can to find something, a sliver, look through business reports. There is literally damn near nothing of any exchanging of money or something. Maybe marketing that Sony helps out with them, but there's I can't find anything. There's one article on exclusivity from the Jack of all controllers, and there's not. And what it links back to is a live stream where they're just saying, "Oh, Persona's important to us." That's And then the article took it and said they clickbaited it and said, "Oh, well, it's exclusivity." They never said that. They just said, "Oh, it's important to us. Like having Persona on PlayStation is important." That's the only thing that I can find. I mean, but we all think that there might be something, right? But
it feels like it's like a Godfather situation. Like someone put a horse head in someone at Atlas, like their bed, and like now they're like, okay, we'll keep it on the PlayStation. We're sorry, because it's like it doesn't feel official, but it just feels like it's something happening in the background.
They're just doing it just to gain. I think it was just because they're trying to just gain favor. It's like, hey, if we do this, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Better positioning on the, because I just can't find anything, and it's always been on PlayStation. And remember, when that game was made, or Persona, that was in the height of Yamauchi-san saying what RPG fans are basement dwellers, so that's just kind of like what they've always went with, was just PlayStation, going through. So I mean, I'm not sure, but look, we're getting kind of close, right? We've got obviously Persona Q. That was the first time that Persona franchise was on anything outside of PlayStation. And then we've got Persona Scramble, which is a sequel to Persona 5. It's a full game, Once it finally gets over here, people will see it more, but you can play the demo. It's a full game. So it's getting closer and closer. Now we've got Persona on PC. So mainline Persona outside of PlayStation. That's the first time ever a normal mainline numbered game outside of PlayStation. So it's just... eventually, I think it's going to come to other systems, the games, eventually, at some point.
It is interesting. I mean, you see it jump to the top of Steam. It's sold quite a few copies in like the first, 12 hours or so now? Almost 12 hours. It's pretty ridiculous. Atlas, you would think Atlas and Sega see the potential with Persona being a multi-platform series. But I have a feeling they're going to show, the next Persona, and it'll still just be on PlayStation for some reason. Mm-hmm. So it's a very strange situation.
I don't know, the way that PlayStation's going in Japan, it doesn't seem like the best.
That's the weird thing too, because Sony and PlayStation is moving more away from Japan and more towards the Western audience. So it is.
And I mean, it's not, the PlayStation 4 doesn't. I mean, the Switch has already outsold it in Japan. So clearly, if that's the audience you care about, there's a better system.
Well, they sell great here in America too, but Japan definitely gets their sales of Persona as well.
But you think there'd be, in that case, like Yakuza on the Switch then too?
Well, their reasoning was what happened with on the Wii U. That was their reasoning. But
I mean,
like 1,000 copies.
There might be a difference between the Switch and the Wii U, though. I'm on a limb here.
I don't know. What do you think, John?
Nate, you didn't seem surprised that Persona would have it that be going to the PC and just that be it. Like you were like, oh, that's fine. That's probably all that's happening. That's it.
Yeah,
like this being like a one-off thing, Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, I think that's all they'll have, because it seems whatever deal they seem to have in place, Sony is more willing to allow the properties that they have some sort of exclusive deal with to go to PC as long as they don't go to other console platforms. Sony still wants to have the console exclusivity clause. So it going to PC, it doesn't hurt Sony in any way. Atlas can get their extra sales. Sony's enjoyed them. And Sony knows they're going to have Persona 6. They're going to have Persona 5, PC, version 2. So they're okay with it.
Let me ask you a question then. This is the weirdest thing then. Why I've never heard of a company that has a exclusivity deal poll people, do you want to see it on another system? That to me seems very ridiculous. I know Atlas does, but why would you sit there and say you want Persona 6 on this system? If you have a deal in place, or if you have deals, why are you asking people for other systems? That seems like an oxymoron, like a complete idiotic thing to do. If you have deals in place, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right. That's where, Atlas and Sony and Persona, whatever's happening, no one really has a clear understanding of it.
That just seems to be like there's some malarkey. There's some funny business going on. There's some malarkey. There's some smoke and mirrors. There's some stupidity going on here. I honestly think it's like Sony just kind of saying, "Yo, you need us," and Atlas just saying, "Yeah, like help us out with marketing and stuff like that, like, and we'll do what we can." But I think that obviously I think it's going to change. Like you can't bank on Persona 6 for being PlayStation only, considering the state of how PlayStation is in Japan. Unless you're willing to lose a lot of money. But hey, we'll see.
Let me go through. We're done with the Discord questions, Evan?
Yep, all good.
Okay, let me go through some of these super chats. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly since we're getting a little overtime now, and then we'll comment on the Star Wars Squadrons leak real quick before we finish up. Let's see. Jonathan Reed says, in regards to PS5, do you guys think that people will be upset about performance issues when they connect an external SSD that is slower than Sony's? I just don't think it'll, I think Sony's going to have a bare minimum that you need, and if it doesn't meet it, it'll probably run a test when you pop it in, and it'll say this isn't compatible. Like for the NVMe inside of it.
I think that's right.
So that's probably what'll happen. And anything you plug into the front, it's just for backup purposes. You then have to load it onto the system before you can even play it if it's a PS5 game. Apparently PS4 games will play from it, I guess. At least that's what Microsoft's saying with Xbox. So I figure it'll probably be the same with Sony.
Yeah.
Radberry Gaming says, what brand of headsets do you guys use? This is Sony, and then I have for console I have Astros.
$14 Audio Technicas, baby. The highest quality that you can get. Let's go.
Steel Series.
Go ahead.
Steel Series. There you go.
These are Logitech right now.
I don't know.
I have a Sennheiser as well that I use a lot when I'm actually playing. But yeah,
How do you like that one?
Something
The audiophile headphones. Sennheiser. So good.
Sennheiser, the ones that you plug in are still significantly better than their new wireless ones, just because the mic quality is it's practically studio quality. You know, it's close enough. You're not going to notice the difference. You're not going to notice the difference in Discord. It's almost good enough to do voiceovers or whatever. So I really like those, and they sound really incredible when you're in games that have like a wall of sound, because it's really distinct. You can really pick out every little detail. I like that a lot. These Logitech ones are great too, though. The G Pro ones, I think. Yeah,
I'm running HyperX.
Great too.
Yeah. Ziljan says, also RGT, why don't you upload in HD anymore? You only upload in 720p, and it shows YouTube doesn't consider 720p HD anymore.
Lazy.
He's just straight up about it.
Sorry, we're not sandwiches, man. Jesus.
Zaire Miller says, OJ, if you like AI, you probably like the Danganronpa series.
Yeah, I've watched all the people play the Danganronpa series. It seems cool, but I mean, I can't be playing too many of those type of games, man. Like, I just can't be doing too. I think AI is good, but yeah, I've seen a lot of people. I've seen watch playthroughs of it. It seems like a cool series, though.
Ice says, I know it's far in the future, but do you think PS5 will continue with the disc drive with a PS5 Slim and Special Edition? I mean, at this point they probably will, but I mean, maybe they see how the all digital one sells and goes from there. I think this is gonna be the last generation we have a disc drive.
I was gonna ask that earlier. You think they're gonna phase out from that? Because it makes sense, right? Like you breed a whole new generation without the disc drive.
They would be better off just selling the system as an all digital, and then probably selling an attachment for anyone who actually wants it for the disc drive.
Yeah.
Like plug in.
What about like backwards compatibility though? Like if you have physical PS4 games, do you think that's why?
Jim Ryan doesn't care about backward compatibility.
I guess, yeah.
He's gonna hold up a disc and be like, "Who wants to use?"
Jim Ryan only wants money.
Well, I mean, if they came out with an all digital though, you feel like that would end up upsetting a lot more people than if they came out with the two different versions.
I feel like
it would upset people like a Pokemon boycott. I mean, I don't really think
still buy it.
I think it's the same type of thing.
I mean, eventually we all stop buying physical PC games, so.
And consoles are at the point where the disc is residual, like it has to install or that's it.
Yeah.
Placeholder, yeah.
This is grooming. They started it in the 8th gen. Now we got it here, and by the next gen, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
By next gen.
And don't forget, they tried this with the PSP Go all the way back in 2011?
They got body though, worse than me and Dave.
I mean, dude, even if you look at it, a lot of people
cheeks were clapped.
A lot of people are going. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people are going all digital on their Switch now. So even like Nintendo is probably looking at this like
I am.
Yeah, I mean, OJ's shelf would beg to differ, but you know.
Well, I'm a weirdo, so.
Yeah, but how many of those games on that shelf need installs while you're getting into it?
A lot of it depends. Like if you have like,
doesn't open those games, he just buys them on sale and puts them on shelves.
No, he just swings by GameStop when they're throwing out the cases and he just picks them up.
OJ just like $25 to get both Borderlands and Kingdom Hearts. I don't want to play them. I'll just keep them sealed, put them on my shelf.
No.
Oh gosh, let's
OJ getting roasted.
Let's go.
Well, it's the truth. I do just buy them. I buy them for the art. I like the box art.
Jay says, please help my son and I settle an argument we've been having. Is time travel in Animal Crossing a form of cheating?
No.
Yes.
I mean, it is, but it's okay. Like, go cheat.
It is, but do what you want.
Fine.
Yeah.
Cheat codes used to be in video games, and that was cheating. But you were allowed to do it. Go to do it. Have fun.
There's only one type of cheating in the world that's bad. Okay, you can cheat in school. That's fine. No one's going to harm. But you cheat on your significant other. That's bad.
Okay.
But what if you're not really together and she just thinks you are?
Oh my God,
RGT going for the loophole.
We're not going there.
Time traveling in Animal Crossing is cheating, but it's fine. It's your game. You can do it. It's cheating, though.
It is not cheating.
It is. Look, it's fine though. Clicking. Nobody's gonna put you.
How it's not.
Nobody's gonna put you in jail for doing it. It's not like, okay, like you time travel. Oh my gosh, but like the people that time travel, they sit there, they brag about all this crap that they got, but you cheated. You fast forward a year or whatever the hell it is to get what you got. That is cheating. It's fine. You can do that, but it's cheating.
That's not cheating. That's just not enjoying it day to day. It's just a different way of playing it.
You can enjoy it however you want to, but it's cheating.
It's just like turning Big Head mode on in 007. It's just enjoying it more.
It's a cheat, but who cares?
I don't know.
It's like giving save states and rewind.
Nah.
Hold on. I'm just gonna say, how many of you guys actually played the original Animal Crossing in chat? Okay.
I did.
On the GameCube?
Are you in chat? Are you in chat?
I am. I think most of us are in chat right now.
Don't you have like a 30-inch sub to go eat or something?
It's 15 inches now.
I'm actually in 3 chats right now.
16 though.
Wolverdale says RNC Rift Apart, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart made me want to buy a PS5 unlike the movie game. Also, I guess there's a bonus in that I can also play PS4 games on the PS5. Ratchet and Clank, I think I think it'll do all right to sell PS5s. So.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan says overall unimpressed with the PS5. Nothing wanting me to pick it up. Console or game wise, GTA 5 re-release for the 3rd generation. Give me a break. I did hear though that Fortnite will be on the PS5 as well though. So
that's a day one.
That might have
been.
Yes.
Thank God.
It is a day one.
And with the upgraded engine too.
The PS5 would have been a failure.
Crazy.
Honestly.
Chris Childress says bought time you Spawncast Sean. That's what it says.
All right.
One more time.
Okay. Bought time you Spawncast Sean.
Oh,
damn.
about time.
About
Something.
time. Nice. About time you Spawncast Sean.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
The Eric says the PS5 event was neat. It was. Jake says the more info I got about the PS5, the less interested I got in the launch line. Few hard dates, Spider-Man being a Far Cry Blood Dragon like game, etc. There were definitely no dates there.
It was awesome, by the way. Blood Dragon was dope. I love that game.
Yeah, I would take another one of those right now.
Hell yeah.
People really liked that Blood Dragon game.
It was good. It was
good.
Cool. It was good because it didn't take itself seriously and it was just stupid fun. So, and I think it was pretty cheap from what I remember when it came out.
Right,
It was
early,
$20.
It was their standalone expansion, just like Primal and all the other ones. Yeah.
Chris Childress says they're asking, they're saying they should do an episode, Evan, where you don't have to watch chat so you can talk more in the show.
But then no one else will do it, so I got this.
Max says so excited for Miles Morales. I love the character and it means so much to so many people, especially now. Can't wait to experience it. I am excited to play as Miles Morales. I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Especially since I think the end of it is going to then lead into Spider-Man 2. I think that'll be really cool.
If you're not excited, make sure you watch Into the Spider-Verse movie. That will get you excited.
Oh, so good.
Watch it like 15 times, like me.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to pull from that with this. That they're trying to basically make Miles that movie everywhere, like comics, everything. They're trying to get that.
I mean, he got a haircut somewhere in New York. I don't know where he got his haircut from, but everywhere's closed. But other than that, everything's looking good.
Skylar says, of the PS5 games shown, which one do you think are exclusive to PlayStation, timed or otherwise? I think we went over that a little bit with some of the timed exclusives. As Deathloop that's not timed, is it?
It is.
It is. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, we went over some of those there, and I guess that Square Enix game might come out someday. Otherwise, for a lot of them actually were. Yeah.
That was cool.
J2 Blue says Returnal, Karen Simulator. All right. Eric says Kenna and Little Devil Inside looked the best.
Ooh.
Leak says, what order do you think we will eventually get these games? Shin Megami Tensei 5, Breath of the Wild 2, Silk Song, Bayonetta 3, Prime 4, Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2. You might as well just say which one you think's coming out first. How about we go with that?
Breath of the Wild.
Silk Song.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say Bayonetta. I'll say Bayonetta 3.
I think
really?
Bayonetta was coming.
I think Bayonetta 3 this year.
I think before those other ones.
Bayonetta could come out this fall. I could see
You're
that.
getting my hopes up. Don't say that.
They need something for this fall. That makes
my
sense.
heart.
Bayonetta 3 has been canceled.
Nate just said Bayonetta 3 is not coming out this year, but I'm almost positive that podcast months ago.
2020. It means development had problems.
Yes, that's what you said. You said there is a problem. If it doesn't come out this year, there is a problem.
There is a problem. Because it's not coming out this year.
And then we have Mighty Squish says, "What does anyone? Who doesn't anyone talk about Arena of Valor?"
What?
I don't know what that is.
It's the mobile MOBA.
That's the mobile. Yeah, it's the mobile MOBA.
Why aren't you guys talking?
I guess that's why.
I don't play MOBAs.
It's just like I don't know, the pace of the game. I tried it out. It just seems slow. It just seems like a really slow.
Because it's for touchscreens, yeah.
Yeah, MOBA, and it's just the MOBA. I mean, I'm just not into MOBAs, to be honest. That's why I don't talk about it. But I did try it out. I played it, but I'm just not into MOBAs.
Chris says Microsoft 2 years of has to run on VCR is a bad move. Sony making next gen stuff. Microsoft putting too much in cloud. 5G can't penetrate walls or trees. Sony for the win.
All right.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the games look like in July, really, and kind of go from there.
And remember, those games will work on the VCR.
The VCR, Nate's VCR will live on for another 2 years.
I think it's good customer, fan stuff. Like when you can make it to where everybody can be able to play. So
again, they have to make the games work on PC, so they might as well support that old Xbox. Yeah.
Jonathan says Kenna was made by the people who made Majora's Mask. That's what you were saying.
Yes.
A misclick. You made a terrible Fate fan film.
Yes.
Very cool. Radberry Gaming says, "How was your 30-inch roast beef sub?"
Delicious.
Okay. Justin says there needs to be a Brady Bunch type intro with this setup. I can't unsee it. Love everyone's content, by the way. Sokar says P4 Golden without Denuvo or other consoles soon. Kind of talked a little bit about that. We'll see. It might be a one-off thing, but at least it's not. At least it's just not stuck on the Vita anymore. Mark says, "Hey guys, big fans of all of you. Do you think the price point of the PS5 could be $449 and $349 to undercut Microsoft? Greetings from Brooklyn."
Probably not.
I think they're just rolling with 500 because you were even saying, Jeff, they might even lose money there. So
yeah, I think at 500. Yeah, especially. They don't know what gas is going to cost. They still have to ship that thing, and that thing probably is almost $500 in cost, even before shipping. So, and packaging.
Dan says Mark Cerny did us all dirty with the PS5 design.
I didn't listen to him when he tried to tell you about the SSD. He fell asleep.
Yeah, maybe he probably showed everyone the PS5 design at some point in that presentation, and everyone just fell asleep and see it. Jose says Xbox, PS3, 3DS, Nintendo, Wii, Sephiroth. Roy Rock says, would you have Radical Reggie on the show? Sean, you know Radical Reggie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Look into that. Ruffle Mutt says Nintendo versus Sony, crunch versus no crunch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no way. That's madness.
Jonathan says Xbox Series X and PS5 announced price, Switch sales explode. I mean, Switch will still have the price advantage either way. So
yeah, I bet they cut the price pretty soon too. It's $250.
Oh, it's not a bad idea. Jonathan Hernandez says $399 for an all digital and $499 for regular PS5. Okay.
I like your thinking, buddy.
Adrian says Chinese proverb: never store milk above Taco Bell.
Well, the bad part is
I have read that.
I had to take because I had to put the milk in something else. So I found a cranberry juice jug that I had for a while, and I rinsed it out, and so the rest of the milk is in there.
Cranberry milk.
It's so weird just thinking about Sean like taking a jug, dumping out stuff, washing it, and then filling it with milk, and then seeing a jug.
Where else is he gonna put his milk?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
His Taco Bell was soaking it up.
Just Ziploc bags, bro. Come on.
Matthew says every day is great at your Junes. The Loch Ness Monster says I think it's first. RGT, how many inches is too many, RGT?
Never enough.
Okay. Revan, that's just $2. No message. Thanks, Revan. Knock Fox, $2, says Blorg. Dodsy, $5 says, I also wanted to give a shout out to the Nate of our Hate and MVG for their podcast.
Thank you.
Another plug. All right, there.
Seriously,
Good job, guys.
God.
Night's top.
How many alternate accounts you logging into?
I better see that Nate the Hate podcast on like trending on like iTunes or something tonight. I don't know. Jared says it's come up a lot. Jared says MVG, have you tried Karam on Clubhouse Games?
Actually, no, I haven't. I kind of just stick with the ones that I like, which is I just rotate between the 5 games that I like the most. But I will actually dabble and try every single 51 of those games eventually. But yes,
all of them.
Yeah.
Dingo says, I like the new PS5. Reminds me of J.J. Abrams' Enterprise redesign instead of a 2001 Space Odyssey monolith like the previous systems. Revan says, Sean is Spawncast Charles Barkley.
He did write a book. I had a friend because he wrote that book. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. And so I had my friend photo and put a picture of my face over Charles Barkley's face because
Barkley's great on the inside the NBA. He's
that's
hilarious.
just terrible.
Classic. That's just terrible. He's just terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
And then also when he called out Draymond Green for having triple singles, he said Draymond Green with his usual triple single. So that was also funny too.
Kinto Cruz says, where's the Joey Wheeler picture of the PS5?
Yeah, because it doesn't exist.
No, I literally saw one, dude. It was like a.
It's Seto Kaiba. Joey wouldn't make sense.
Chris.
No, I had him in it. I'm not saying the design was him. He was in it. It was like a.
That's what we're arguing about.
Chris.
What? No.
Chris says, speak for yourself, Sean. I'm banging that PS5. That's from Chris. There you go. And then Justin Hawkins says, kind of hard not to not to hit the PS5 though, RGT85.
Oh my God.
Console Gamer says, messaged Evan on Twitter to be in a queue. Nate just giving you crap on Metroid Prime Trilogy since you hate the GameCube. Question to all, what Sega system should I buy?
What Sega system he should buy?
Yeah. I hate the GameCube coming from.
It's either going to be the Saturn or the Dreamcast.
I would say Dreamcast because the Saturn's going to cost you a fuck ton of money to get the good games.
Dreamcast's a good one. Yeah.
Emulate it. Just emulate it. Come on, man.
Stop it.
Dreamcast is great.
Hey, that Raspberry Pi 4, it takes care of that Dreamcast pretty well, I'll say. Cameron Schultz says, is anyone else having their Last of Us 2 pre-order delayed at Best Buy, specifically the Ellie edition?
Oh, I need to look.
Well, we'll see. Carlos says, yo, what's up? Carlos here. I work at a Dunkin' in Texas and make the best drinks and the best customer service.
True. You need a Carlos in your life.
Man, I gotta get me a Carlos.
Symphonic Balance says, because the PS5 shell is white, any defects will stand out. My white HC switch dock somehow got a scratch on day 2 and it just stares back at me. That was a good point. Or if they could actually even fade maybe.
Don't scratch?
Into Cruz says, I just wondering if she found the Joey Wheeler man on misclick.
Oh my God, I'm literally trying to search Twitter. Do you have any idea? I don't save these memes, dude. I'm trying to figure out who posted or retweeted it.
Kelvin Smith says we haven't seen the whole side disc tray side. We haven't seen the back of the system either. That's a serious question, by the way. There's a lot.
There was a USB-C port on the front, right? I'm sorry, this is
yes,
there was.
Yes, there's USB-C, SS, and then the USB-A. People were wondering why that's there. I think it's for fast charging the DualSense controller. More on that tomorrow. And then Kevin Smith says we haven't seen the USB Type A on the front.
More on that tomorrow.
There might be a video that goes over how I think the PS5 is put together.
Whoa.
Chris, yeah, right? Chris Childress says we need a profanity-laced RGT style rant on Spawnwave Plus.
There's plenty.
It would go to clips, but yeah.
Katie Jess says it's like Pokemon 2 versions, so you don't ask why do I want this, rather you ask what version do I want. You're already thinking about owning it for the PS5 and the 2 versions.
Exactly right.
Says embrace the hate for Nate and MVG. You two are great. Jen says I run all SSD on PC. I refuse to any hard drive. Joe F says the PS5 is $699 USD. That's probably from Play Asia. Just letting us know early, of course.
Wait, $699?
It was. It's just a.
That was a placeholder listing.
If you watch my video from today, there's a great breakdown.
I'd rather what? Never mind. Sorry.
Wait, what would you rather watch?
Maybe I'll put a video up on it tomorrow.
I would say I'd rather watch you transfer milk to a cranberry jug, like
I'm gonna grab the jug.
You probably should have recorded that and posted it.
Yeah. TikTok.
ASMR.
Kelvin Smith
He's
says
getting the jug.
Xbox Series X coming with 1,000 plus from all gens. PS4 with 4,000 plus.
Is he really going to get the milk?
He's getting the jug.
Nobody says switch
Are you
to
serious?
docking station next refresh. We'll see about that. Loch Ness Monster in there again. Then Wild FYA says, do you think they do backwards compatibility at the PS5? They will put those PS3 2-in-1 games on PS5.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Jim Ryan pukes when he sees PS1 games. He cannot look at them.
Can't see the milk.
Undertaker in 1998 says, I just threw Mankind off the Hell in a Cell and threw the Spanish announcement.
Nice.
That's Cassie.
That is
Cassie, get out of
so
here, dude.
upsetting to look at, actually.
Yeah, that's cursed images. You need to put that on a thread on
Yeah,
Reddit.
that is wrong.
Cran
I
milk.
hate this.
I rinsed it out. I rinsed it out really
You
well.
think you rinsed it out
Cranberries,
well. You think you did, but there's always some cran residue. Cranberry juice is
Take
strong.
a sip.
There's always some
Take a
residue.
sip.
How much to chug
I
it
don't
right
trust
now?
all of it.
Oh,
Where's
God.
cran residue?
It's funny because I can smell the
It's
cranberry.
like
I told you there's cran residue in there, man.
in the lid, dude.
But see, I really only use the milk for like crunch berries. So
Yeah, I
like,
was gonna
that's
say,
all-
just put oops all berries that shit, and you're fine.
He's just pre-crunch berrying the milk. That's great.
Oops, all cranberries.
Dude, this is another clip, dude.
And then Carlos says,
Wait, hold on. You gotta plug that channel. Speaking of, yeah, guys, there's a new Spawn clips
oh,
channel.
we got the Spawncast
All the best moments.
channels. Yep, where we clip up.
It's
different
mainly
parts
just
of
Sean
the
telling
podcast.
stories.
Yeah. Zoomed in. Yeah.
Spawncast clips. Maybe Evan grabbed the URL for it. I don't know. Maybe you can drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
See what I can do.
Carlos Rivera then said, could I 1080p on PS5 and would it be even faster? We'll see. Maybe they might
Yeah.
just super sample.
Maybe, or just super sample.
Yeah.
We'll see what the approach there is.
We did have very quickly. We'll go over this before we finish up. We did have Star Wars. It was Star Wars Squadrons that seemed to leak on the Xbox Store, and then they announced that on Monday they will be showing it. Now it kind of looks like, Jeff, you actually reported on this. This was on GamesBeat. You mentioned that it appears like it's going to have a heavy lean on multiplayer and some single player.
Yes.
But I'm getting some Rogue Squadron vibes out of this. Would I be right to be getting some of that?
I think that is their intent. I mean, when I think of Rogue Squadron, I think of the single player campaigns. I think about playing through a pretty good, a meaty story with a lot to do. And I would not necessarily expect that from this game. You got to think about, like, what does this game come from? Comes from EA looking at their slate and looking at the PlayStation or the Star Wars games that they were making and saying they're too ambitious, they're too big, they're going to take too many years to put together. So let's get something out by holiday 2020, and that means that they're going to reduce the scope. And I think this game is going to be $40. I think it's going to. I think the content's going to reflect that.
Okay.
So yeah, mostly multiplayer. I think the single player campaign is probably going to be pretty forgettable. It's going to be 3, 4, 5 hours maybe.
It'll be mostly to show you how the game plays, so then you can jump to multiplayer. And
I think a dressed up tutorial is a good way of putting it. I think and I'm still interested just because I like the idea of Star Wars ships battling one another in a multiplayer setting. That sounds fine to me, but I definitely would have preferred something more along the lines of Rogue Squadron. But I mean
that goes all the way back to X-wing TIE Fighter. It's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So if we can go online and play against each other or even with each other as literal like squadrons of like X-wings and Y-wings and TIE fighters and TIE bombers, all flying around fighting each other, that could be fun. I think if it's the right price and it has enough multiplayer elements to it to be fun. Like they could even do something crazy and be like, oh, you got to go, I don't want to say capture the flag, but capture something from this to get across to. They could do something like that with it.
I think they'll get pretty creative with the modes, and it's going to support VR. So people who are into cockpit VR games, that's pretty cool. But I mean, this is the thing that they're going to lead into EA Play with. The trailer will be like sort of a story trailer, and then they'll show gameplay at EA Play. But EA Plays next week. Do you guys have any predictions about what else is going to be there?
All right, hit him with it.
Greg Miller.
Hit him with it, Jordan.
I don't know if it's confirmed. I just know that it's in the works 100%, and that's Skate 4.
Oh, there we go. Skate 4. Skate 4.
I doubt it'll be here right now. But I know for a fact, here's what I could say. All the skaters who have been in 1, 2, and 3 have already recorded all of their motion capture stuff, and the intro to the game, that opening cinematic that'll welcome you to wherever it is, has already been put together.
Do they put the hashtag at the beginning of the name, though? Is it hashtag Skate 4? Is that the official name is what I want to know.
I don't know what it is going to be. Maybe it'll be Skate with the 4 as the A. I don't know. Something stupid like that.
I say that. Let me just say, I think that you might be onto something here. Yeah.
Finally, someone what validates me. Thank you. You're my best friend now.
I think we might be onto something, yeah.
Validate you every weekend.
It begins.
With a big shut up fringe.
Validate me, but then you go, shut up, fringe.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That was good.
Hey, people know.
Thank
People
you. I've
know
been practicing.
if you see me go live, if you see me go live to see this to stream EA, the EA Play thing, then you know that I'm hoping that Skate 4 is there. Like I'm only going live.
I'm hoping it's there too. I want to play it.
I mean, I am interested in the Squadrons now that you're mentioning it, Jeff. More like it's gonna be like heavy multiplayer and maybe some creative modes. That is interesting to me to see that. But honestly, I would go into EA and be like, okay, am I gonna see FIFA? Am I gonna see Madden?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're gonna see UFC is that secret sports game is UFC. And then you're gonna see a bunch of EA originals. Are you guys ready for some more Joseph Ferris? Because I know I am. He's gonna be there.
Is it a next gen UFC or is it current gen or both?
It's gonna be both, right?
Yeah, I assume a lot of the stuff is gonna be for both. Like especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We still haven't met a UFC game better than the THQ ones back in 2009. So
the reason EA wasn't at the PlayStation thing is because EA wants their games still running on current gen consoles, so that's still their focus. So they were going to show FIFA, and then it was going to be saying, this is what we think it might look on the PlayStation 5. It's not ready to run on the PlayStation 5, and Sony's like, get the hell out of here with that. We don't want that. So yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to be kind of cross gen from EA.
I could see them say like, Apex Legends will work on the PS5, or so. I could see something like that being.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I think we're gonna get the crossplay announced for Apex Legends as well. So yeah, and maybe going to another new system as well. So we'll see.
A new system.
Can that system be able to go anywhere?
Could it?
The mobile phone, yes.
Will it on average have terrible Wi-Fi connection and be terrible for people to play online?
It's gonna be great.
Nate's over here like there will be a surprise. And everyone's just
There will be a surprise.
There could be a surprise, Nate.
I didn't say could. I said there will be.
Oh, okay, there will be.
FIFA and Madden.
There will be a surprise there. Jordan, I'm liking your odds here with Skate 4.
There's nothing to do with a skateboard.
Can you stop being mean to me, Nate?
If Skate 4 is there, do you guys think is that they're like one more thing?
I hope so. That the community.
It's been asked for long enough. This is the 10. It's over 10 years now. The anniversary was a couple months back. This is 10 years since Skate 3.
Let me tell you this. Okay? I've looked back for the 3 years I've been on YouTube or so. Every time before E3, I'm like, is this finally Skate 4's year? Every single time.
Trust me, we feel it.
Yep.
Whenever it gets mentioned online, Twitter trends with Skate immediately.
Yeah.
Like people want it so badly. So
what was it when Tony Hawk got announced? Skate was trending. Everyone's like, well, what about Skate? What about it?
I am at least a little more interested now to see what EA has with the Star Wars game, and the possibility of Skate, of course, being there is always interesting. So, and now Nate's saying that there's some kind of surprise there that's not Apex Legends on the Switch. So I'm interested.
That's right.
All right. So maybe I will pay attention to Nate.
When is their thing? Is it Monday?
I think it's Thursday. Thursday, right? Because they were gonna do this Star Wars thing. They were gonna tease it on Tuesday, the trailer on Wednesday, and then the gameplay on Thursday. So yeah.
Will this big thing have a large effect on people?
No. Too soon.
Too soon for that one. Okay. They're still not ready to show that off yet. Okay.
No, we're not going. We're not going to mass yet.
Mass Effect. Last I heard, it's coming, and I think it's coming this year, but it's not going to be there.
That's what I'm saying, man. I've heard about it for way too long. Where is
somebody say Mass Effect?
Apologize for Andromeda already and give us a new one.
Did somebody say Mass Effect? Is it going to be good? The remasters, right?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be good. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They might
a new Mass Effect or the rumored remasters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who knows? They might just
remaster. Trilogy, we can say.
That'll come this year, but it's not going to be at E3.
I'm down for Mass Effect remaster. Mass Effect 1 needs a remaster.
Yeah, I really hope they could do a lot.
It's going to be Mass Effect remastered.
They just remake Mass Effect 1.
No reason.
What'd you say, John?
It's going to be this is how they're going to mess it up. It's going to be the Mass Effect trilogy with online DRM for no reason.
Sounds about
that's
right.
how they're going to mess it up. Watch.
Just the Mass Effect multiplayer, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
Will they show off the proposed rework of Anthem?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Too early for that still.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's too early. Yeah.
I think I've started to see ads for that start popping back up. I don't know.
Maybe then.
Let's finish up here with some of these super chats, then we'll do outros, and I'll read some Streamlabs while we're doing that. Then we have Chris says, "What first party does Microsoft have like Red Dead Redemption 2, Breath of the Wild, God of War, or Uncharted?" I would say Halo or Forza. Forza is really popular. I will give them that, but Halo is obviously their big one. That's what we know. That's what we have attached to Microsoft's Xbox at this point.
They've got Halo. That's like that big. That can sell like that 10 million plus copies no matter what. But Forza does sell quite a bit. But
yeah, and they'll have a new Forza this year anyway. So,
their game.
Christopher Rivas, real quick. You guys want thoughts on Combat Paper Mario?
Looks good.
It's unique. I like it.
It's unique. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
right.
looks snappy.
What are you eating,
Midnight
Sean?
cereal.
Oops, all berries.
Yeah, I was going through the trailer a little bit more today, and it does look cool. I mean, it's just an extra element to like getting started with it's almost like a puzzle element sort of to the battle system. But it's a little more with that and like the partners that they have there. So nobody says correct answer. Atlas wants to not go out of business if Sony and Nintendo dump them. They want more control over their future. Makes sense financially.
To go to PC, yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's smart.
No other Persona says, I've kind of given up hope for Atlas of Switch. I just want Vanillaware games on Switch. Still waiting on Shin Megami Tensei 5.
We all are forever.
Some nobody says, I dislike time gating, so cheat if you want to. AK33 says
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just said cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating.
Cheating.
We all agree with that.
Are we going back into this?
If you want to.
Are we going back into this? How are you going to cheat a game you can't win?
Do you think we will be able?
Cheat
Well,
anything.
we should have.
Can you win life? You can cheat in life.
You can't win a relationship, but you could cheat on one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we should
that's
have
true.
we should have online backups then, right? If
Did
it's
you
not
just compare a
if it's not
relationship to a
or-
game?
Okay.
Absolutely.
They're kind of similar.
100%. Yeah.
I'm trying to get us save backups here.
I don't understand why people who cheat like or get so upset by you cheat like by you can cheat, it's fine, but it's cheating, but it's fine. You're good,
Yeah, just
but it's
label
cheating.
it.
Yeah, but you're cheating, plain and simple, but it's fine.
I don't drive somewhere and say I walked to a place.
I think you could say an exploit. I don't think it's a cheat though. It's an
No, you
exploit.
cheating.
All I know is the manipulation,
Which is just
of
a
the game
fancy way of
me
saying
having
cheating.
online save backups. That's all I know for Animal Crossing. Do you AK33 says, do you think we will be able to transfer our PS4 game saves to the PS5? Keep up the great work, everyone. Also, what's your dream Smash Fighter? Dream Smash Fighter is, we'll go with Master Chief. And yes, I do think so, because they have their cloud stuff set up anyway for a game save. So
Yeah.
that'll
Put Crash Bandicoot in there.
It's just going to be there. Yeah.
As long as you pay for it, it'll be there.
Chrono, if Chrono was in Smash, I would just
Gino.
be very happy person.
Gordon Freeman.
Still want Gino.
Captain Crunch.
Sure.
Yeah. I support it.
Revan says Metal Jesus rocks on Spawncast when? Sean, you know Metal Jesus rocks, right? Get him on the Spawncast.
We've already reached out a couple times.
Sorry.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
All right, cool. Mushwork says, since Jeff is here, if he's allowed to say anything about upcoming games, does Jeff Grubb know anything at all about the next 3D Sonic game? Personally, I'm hoping it's adventure era related.
Oh yeah, I do. It'll suck. No. I haven't liked any 3D Sonic games. No, I don't know anything about those games. Sorry, man.
Christian says, Spawn, I don't like Kid Icarus.
Okay.
Life is
He's talking about the original. He clarified it in the chat, and I agree with him because I think the music is great, but it's not a great game.
Yeah, the NES one sucks.
Yeah, get out Uprising.
That's like what does it matter? How many?
When someone say Sonic, I stop listening.
Right, he said, got my Wonderful 101 Kickstarter shipping confirmation. Awesome. I should check to see if I finally get my Switch version after Kickstarter.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I got my confirmation as well. Can't wait.
My condolences.
I just Undertaker 1998 ups through Mankind off the Hell in a Cell and through the Spanish.
City, dude.
All right, let's let me go around here. There are still a few messages I'll read between outros here as we go around to finish up. Hey, Sean, since you're eating, we'll go to you first.
You can find me on RGT85. I uploaded a video today pretty much breaking down what games I feel are going to be the launch window games and the launch day games for the PlayStation 5. Talk a bit about the price, so make sure you guys check that out. I do stream on Twitch now a little bit, so follow me on there. I will drop my Twitch link in the chat box.
Oh, we're allowed to do that?
I mean, I do it.
Yeah, but you're
showing. Promotion for everything was on the show tonight. I heard Nate the Hate like 30 times on here.
So
hey,
yeah,
that's whatever links you want. I don't care.
Streamlabs.
There you go. Let's go to our guest, Jeff. Thank you for joining us tonight. I put your Twitter is down below, but if there's anything else you want to let the people know about, go ahead and let them know.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter. I'm too active there. And then I have a podcast of my own, How Games Make Money. You can find that anywhere you listen to podcasts. I also put it on YouTube. You could just search How Games Make Money. It's a show. It's a show where I talk to people about, how this business works, how they actually make money, or sometimes how they don't, and just like what the costs involved are. I've been doing it since about the beginning of the year. It's been going really well. So people want to check
that out.
I appreciate that.
I listened to the one you did with Jake Baldina. It was really good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Jake was a really good guest. Great. Yeah. I love it. And if anyone's interested in one perspective of how YouTube works as a business, he gives a really good insight on that. So that was a good episode. And then for GameSpeed, I do GameSpeed Decides, which is another podcast, and you can check me out there. So yeah, I appreciate it. Also, if everyone would just listen to Nate the Hate, that would just mean a lot to me.
He was a guest on there. He knows what he's talking about.
It's a good show.
And then Eric says, "Y'all are crazy. Love Saturday night." Gotcha, Eric. Saturday night's fun. Yep. And then Carlos says, okay, real question though, PS5 or Oculus Quest? I'm going to say PS5 because it will eventually lead to PlayStation VR 2. So
and Half-Life Alyx will be confirmed.
I bet you that's coming. I bet you it is.
Oh yeah.
I bet you it is.
That's for sure.
And then Rob says, wow, I just joined in and it's good to see you got Jason Momoa on the show.
Hey, that's a compliment. I don't care what anybody. That is a compliment.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that is a compliment.
Then
let that hair out.
Oh, he's letting it down.
Oh, there we go.
It's just like to see. He just needs that water splash behind him right there.
Hey, that's a compliment.
Yep.
Then,
some guitar riffs would be great.
And then Bean with Bacon says Halo ruined the first-person shooter genre forever. Well, you are just wrong.
That's a troll comment.
That's a bold statement.
OJ, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got a huge week coming up. Got some really cool, got like the largest retro gaming haul ever that I've done. Like seriously, like it's so dope. My brother sent me so much cool stuff. Little sneak peek, I'm still putting together the video. We got Street Fighter Third Strike original on the Dreamcast. We got Code Veronica. Oh my gosh. And Capcom versus SNK. And there's like a lot more. A lot of cool Dreamcast games, a lot of cool stuff. So look out for that. Got some other stuff that I'm doing with some Astral Chain. Got a giveaway going on for that as well. Plus live streaming daily. And a game that pissed me off. These are all separate videos. A game that pissed me off and made me more upset on the Switch than I've ever been upset after it came out. So a lot of cool stuff. And I live stream daily. So come through. We kind of roast people sometimes. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, come through, guys. Thanks for having me on, John.
Oh yeah. And then Miss Click.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks, chat, for making me feel alone, in my opinion. I appreciate you always. You can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming. Feel free to leave some hate comments. That's all YouTube's good for me right now. It's great. You can find me pretty much live every day on Twitch at MissClick_live. I'll put that in the chat. Anyways, thanks for having me. It was fun. And nice to meet you, Jeff.
Cool. Likewise, for sure.
And then... Tammy says that honestly, does anyone genuinely care for Gran Turismo in 2020? Forza has completely changed the game over the last generation, and that's coming from a loyal PlayStation user. At some point, you got to know when your cheeks are clapped.
Stop the slander! Stop the slander!
I still like Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo is still more realistic than Forza is as far as the actual racing is concerned.
I still want to see them. I'm glad they showed the campaign stuff though, with like the maps. I'm glad they showed that.
It's classic.
Yeah, but yes, I do care about Gran Turismo, and I have a good feeling about PlayStation VR 2 with Gran Turismo 7. I'll say that. I think that could be really cool. So, and then Jeff Burden says, I'm telling everyone now to be prepared for the following. I'm doing this in multiple donations, so please put them together. Sent earlier because I thought I wouldn't be here. PlayStation All Digital 450, 1.5 terabytes of storage. PlayStation 5 600, Xbox Series X 700.
No.
That's a lot.
PlayStation 5 is one controller. Lockhart is the following update is pushed all X1X play off disc of the next gen games. With the update, they will remake Xbox One X in white, call it the Series S. All Xbox One S and VCR Xbox Ones will be able to play next gen games digital. That is quite the prediction. Okay. What about Jordan?
I know a lot of people don't care about my Pokemon channel, but I brought Electric Pop back. It's where I talk about movies and video games. I did a whole talking about the PlayStation event the other day, and I'm going to have a lot more game discussions and movie reviews and all that stuff around there. Great episode. It was great having you on, Jeff. Thought we had some good things to talk about for sure.
Thanks, man.
That was good. And then let's go to Nate.
Yes.
I put you last because you've done your outro 30 times this podcast already. So go ahead.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at DirectFeedGames. There's a link to that YouTube channel there. You'll find some Summer of Mara footage up there on Monday morning. Then the second channel is Nate the Hate, where right now we have a video about the PlayStation 5. And next week we'll have a video comparing or discussing the pricing of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X with a very special guest. And we're going to get really in depth about the pricing wars that can happen with these two consoles. So it's something to look forward to.
Okay. And then Evan.
Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Kimmerix Project. It's the same name in the links below, and you guys have been seeing in chat. We'll probably be streaming a bit this week. I got a lot of commission work to tear through, maybe a little more Warframe. And if my friends aren't at work, GTFO again. Try to get through those levels.
That'll work. And then Ryan says the PS5 is the first discless console there at launch. What are your thoughts on this team? Love watching you all weekend routine. Stay safe. We talked about it a little bit, but I think this is last generation where we have consoles that take Blu-rays or any kind of disc. So, but I am interested. At least I'm going to pick up one of each of those anyway, just to check them out, see the differences between them. So, it'll be good. I think that is everything there. Evan, you said we're going disc. No, I got MVG, didn't I?
You did not get me.
Oh, I missed MVG.
And he's center square. Damn.
He's like off to the right for me. MVG, where can they find you, man?
On the Nate the Hate show next week, we'll have no. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G, YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer, and Monday I got a video hacking up a 2DXL that I bought for $99, and I'll be giving this away on the channel as well. So check out my channel next week on Monday.
There was a mad scramble for 2DSs all of a sudden, right?
Man, they're so awesome. These things, they're so cool.
They're getting rid of them. They're discontinued. I think they're going away.
Yep.
That's going to do it here for Spawncast tonight. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Jordan, what are we going to be talking about?
Maybe a little thing like a piece of wood, and you have 4 wheels on it, and you push it, and it has the number 4.
Skate 4.
Maybe.
All right.
Oh, I mean, you said it, not me.
All right.
Well.